Hello and welcome to the Stream of Chaos. My name is Dave and I'll be your keeper of arcane lore for this session of Call of Cthulhu. Today we are concluding the Two-Headed Serpent as we wrap up this campaign with our four lovely and irrevocably changed heroes breaching the Citadel at the heart of Mu and solving the problems inside of it. If you want to get your own copy of this campaign, you can get it from chaosium.com, and if you can find all of the VODs collected over on the Chaosium YouTube channel. We do stream live each week at 5 p.m. Pacific on Twitch, and you can join us there. And I want to give a thank you to Sirenscape and Roll20 for being tools which we use to improve our games. And then I'm going to hand it over to Jim because we've got a slight juggle going forward as we resolve this campaign and move towards the next. Jim.
Absolutely. So a little bit of news coming from, what's happening next, what's happening in the immediate future, and what's happening around. First of all, next week after the finale, we are not going to be playing because instead we will be showing a very cool Pendragon stream run by Mark Morrison, who will be going through the Pendragon starter set, showing all the cool things in there. That's going to take the usual slot that we would be streaming at. You can see all the information about that in our Discord, etc. And the second thing is that after that, I know that everyone's talking about what's going to get played next. There's going to be a slight longer stall because we're going to be jumping into A God's Dream, which is the final scenario in Cults of Cthulhu to conclude our staggered playthrough of that book. After that, we'll be jumping into the next thing. One last point to make. The Graveyards of Arkham Kickstarter has now gone live, and I'll put the link in the chat. And that is this fantastic Kickstarter project to fund the next blockbuster YouTube show for the sequel to Bookshops of Arkham, which you have already seen. So check that out. And I think that's about the long and the short of the news.
Rock and roll. I think you've done well. All right, terrific. Thank you, James. I will wrestle back control. So all this and more. Stay tuned, etc. Okay, let's return to the Citadel at the heart of Mu and reintroduce our investigators as we go around the table for the final time, meeting our heroes as they head doggedly towards the final conflict. Let's begin with Art.
Hi, I'm Art. I'm not going doggedly anywhere because I am a snake person.
Oh, yeah.
Pause for groans. Yep. Now, I'm playing Lieutenant Aries Carter, a ex-military officer and mercenary for hire, very good with a gun, almost as good with a bayonet. Was once human, is now... through the blessing of Yig, is now fully a snake person, although with all of the capacity and capability and understanding that came from being a human, so hasn't tried to eat their friends or their young yet.
There's still time. We've got a whole session left.
Yeah, maybe I'll try and unhinge my... Dave, can I unhinge my jaw?
Anyone can unhinge their jaw. It's whether you can put it back.
Can I unhinge my jaw and put it back?
You can try.
I'm a snake person.
I reckon you can. Yeah, hell yeah, that sounds sweet. Get it open.
Yeah, I feel like there is just if you want an opening shot of Ares as they wander through the darkened corridors towards the Citadel, there's just a moment where, like, you know the thing where you're like, oh, my jaw's tight, and it just goes click, and they're like, hang on a second. Oh yeah, that's the time.
Someone get some vols and stoats in here.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Right. I mean, if I'd been in that, I'm pretty sure if I'd been in that canteen with that rat.
Oh, no.
Just saying.
Probably would have gone running past at one point. You can help yourself to a little something, something. Got to keep those energy levels up. All right, let's whip across to Jackson.
Hey, I'm Jackson, and for the final time, I'll be playing Dr. Samuel Taylor Thompson, better known as Dr. Sam, the doctor / hobbyist aviator who was here to help. At least that was the plan. He thought he'd be here with his bag of tricks and comforting words and mustachioed gaze to fix all the problems, make everyone feel better. That's certainly how he started. But since then, he's kind of gotten a more nuanced approach to his Hippocratic Oath. Instead of first do no harm, it's first do no harm, and then when that doesn't work, do a little bit of harm and see what you can learn. In the sense that he's been mostly responsible for the transformations of many of his companions and self, having, screwed a serpentine psychic crown into his skull just for gigs, I guess.
Worked out pretty well for you so
Gigs.
far.
Yeah.
Just for
but,
yigs.
I mean, but I think the only person, the only character, the only member of the party who hasn't had any real character growth was Lancet. I think he's still the same bird as when he started.
Lancet really
You got
hated
time.
going up the god volcano, so he's
Yeah.
probably changed by that and, questioning
So
his
my
reality.
point is, if Dr. Sen doesn't make it out, I'd like to continue playing Lancet
Sure,
in this campaign
Yeah,
and
go
see
for
what
it.
kind of growth I can get for him.
Do keep in mind that currently Lancet is in your jacket with a little tiny hood on. He's got his little
That's
falcon
right.
hood on, so he can't see
Nighttime.
shit. So that would be very funny if Sam died and you were like, well, now I'm a blind falcon.
He'll be the hero of the campaign. Terrific. Let's go across to Jim.
Fantastic. Yes, absolutely. I am Jim. I am playing Hubert Smith, the big man with the big heart, and the man who, a little fun fact that even after 36 episodes, I still panic every time I get to my introduction and I go, did I finally decide on calling him Smythe or Smith? And I go into a complete oh my god, can I see it written down somewhere?
It's definitely written Smith on your.
I know, and it's always
It
been
is.
Smith, and I don't think I've ever accidentally called him Smythe, but I decided for like 10 seconds right when making the character, Smythe or Smith, and it's been stuck in my head ever since. But Hubert started off as a great, big, kind-hearted soul. He's only got bigger. His body's been changed by Serpent person technology, accidentally injected into him during a brawl. And, I think that really his heart's gotten bigger too. He's done everything he can to try and stay together in the face of everything. He's got very little sanity remaining. But apart from, if you don't count the coconuts he's crushed, he's got more friends than he started when he came in, and isn't that what it's all about at the end of the day?
I think so. What a lovely thought. All right, well,
Let's just hope it ends that way.
doubt it. Let's go across to Alex.
I don't know, speaking of characters with more friends than they started with, Wilhelmina St. Clair has a snake person in her head who is currently laughing at her. Because, well, I don't know if he's laughing now. Yeah, who's laughing now, Atos? Who's laughing now? Because after sloughing off all of my skin and scrambling up the mountainside like a weird little golem, I got dumped into a vat and now have metal skin that I do. He does have to focus on this to keep a humanoid shape. Otherwise, she's just like a rippling mirror of hey, skin. Some kind of skin. It's a huge
Ew.
improvement. I'm here for it. And Minnie might move to Hollywood and just hang out on the street there, and that's probably the only place that she'd be able to fit in. Because really not sure how this is going to work back in New York.
Okay, yeah, that's the big plan, is go and be a street performer. Stand really still and
Yeah.
Does
Gonna
that
have to
put
move to
it-
Venice Beach or something.
Does that put like a new spin on the idea of the silver screen?
Exactly. She's going to see how far she can spread the silver out.
out off the
Just to
screen.
expand to fill the sky.
Hell yeah.
My backup job was to be a cinema screen. You can't be one too. I was going to wear a big suit.
By their powers combined.
Just wear like a white muumuu, you'll be fine.
Exactly.
Moo
Two of them. All right. Well, speaking
How
of
does that not
which,
come up?
it's a pretty niche word, I would have said.
Yeah, I guess so. I
all
don't say
fits.
moo much.
It all comes together. It's the final piece.
Where do you think moo-moos come from? Where do you think they were invented?
That's the
Sticky
dreadful
jungle?
technology
You
that we
need,
brought back.
Yeah.
Didn't look up fashion warehouse on the map you
The
found.
strange map. Yeah.
Alrighty.
We should stop putting off the start of the last
Time to
Inevitable.
die. Let's do it.
I mean,
Let's
you
do
can
it.
try.
I will fucking try. You guys, it's over,
Yeah.
you lot. All right, so picking back up, in the strange surgical laboratory. Hubert, you were lingering nearby and had just heard what sounded like, Narcal chanting coming from somewhere in this monstrous citadel. Inside, Carter and Minnie have just removed themselves from the bubbling vats of worms where they have returned Carter, seeming very much the same, although, possibly a few steps forward. Just shinier skin, it's all been buffed out, got the scales gleaming. Sam powering across the technology, trying to understand it, but unfortunately not having too much progress. And Minnie stepping forth and seeing the slivers of worms that had conducted the surgery having failed to regrow the skin, have instead decided to graft themselves to you and form a sort of a liquid pool all across your body that sort of ripples around or returns to worms at points. And then when you focus, will sort of come back down to, I'm picturing that metallic Mario that you can get.
Yeah. Yahoo!
Yahoo!
Yeah, exactly. The worms got to Minnie and was just like, well, can't fix this shit.
There is also another serpent person who was quite damaged, who is still in one of the nearby vats being repaired. You can see the worms diving in and out of like laser fire holes to try and repair it. And they are conscious through the entire period, although numbed, and they are looking out now as they begin to sort of be healed up and looking at the three of you. Hubert, you're nearby and can easily join. What would you like to do?
I suggest we move. I don't have too much problem with this individual.
Let us know how you're feeling, Minnie. All good?
I feel shiny and new. Pretty good actually. I feel great.
Well, that's good.
Really
let's hope it sticks on, stays on while we're going about our business and stays on.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the point when Minnie kind of loses focus on being Minnie and just kind of bubbles and like, well, yeah.
Well, I'm sure we can make improvements, but
oh, great.
Better crack on with an expert, hey?
This is perfect.
Well, now.
Well, do you know what? It's better than what I had before, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, before you had nothing really.
Honestly, yes.
I will rejoin the others for a moment, kind of poke my head back in and say, I'm starting to get a sense of everyone's sort of moving to the middle, a little kind of ticking clock sort of chant, lots of chanting.
I see.
You
look
much improved, Minnie. I love the fashion choice.
I feel great.
Just
It's just really good. Hey, that guy is nearly done, and he's going to come out and probably start trying to kill us in a minute. So should we go?
He does he taps on the glass and then goes.
Oh, that's fun. I'm gonna like put my face up, my full snake face up towards the glass and look at him, and just go, if you try anything, I'm going to unhinge my jaw and eat you whole. Don't try me today.
In English?
Yeah, because if they are roses or mediums,
they should.
Which
speak
the
it.
assumption is they all speak English.
Yeah, do you want to go ahead and give me an intimidation roll?
Sure.
Yeah.
Got any pulpy talents for that?
I mean, technically, if I'm charming and intimidating at the same time, I get a bonus dice. I don't know if threatening to eat someone is flirting or not, but
Depends on the
context.
We're gonna leave that alone. We'll leave that
problem
alone, everybody.
The problem about leaving that alone is that was the entire basis of that like combo was like the scary and the kind of like charming intimidation.
It's hard scary.
Yeah, so I don't know, Dave, do I get a bonus for that?
We all play tabletop games, we all understand hot scary.
Slap the bonus on it, let's go.
Yay, because I've got to use that like twice. Hey. Oh, well that's
Strong
fun.
Start. Yay,
Well, it's a 9.
Extreme.
It's an extreme.
Oh.
I will
Just get
also
that one out of the
flag
way
that
early.
threatening to unhinge the jaw is
I
what
love
they
that.
can
I
do
love
as
that for you.
well. So it's like not even a weird one. They just go, shit. Yeah, he leans
I'm
down,
already
and as it looks like he's beginning to near the process of completion and the tube will open, he digs a little finger into the cut and opens it up further to delay the process and make sure he does not get taken out of this tube any sooner than he needs to. And then he pretends to look at the other wall, and like he's kind of forgotten that you were there, and a lot of.
He's like, you know what? I'm done today. I've been shot by lasers.
So, day's over. Go back to bed. Start
Done.
again.
I got paid enough for this.
Yeah, very much just like we were never here. You didn't see us, and lucky for you, we didn't see you. And then head out.
Brilliant.
Okay.
Yeah, let's get
fantastic.
going. We want to end game now. Can I, before we leave, Dave? Is there like a cupboard where I can chuck on just like I don't know? Is there like the equivalent of like surgical scrubs? It keeps occurring to me that I'm wearing my suspenders and like undies at this point because I lost all my suit.
Yeah. Here's the thing. You're immense. So yeah, so you go
stitch
to
two together.
you go to one
Certain
of
people
them.
were taller back in the day, though, right? Maybe no.
Well, also we have established that the idea of the growth serum is a serpent person thing. So realistically, if they were using that in Moo, they must have clothing that would fit.
Yeah,
Well,
It might not be surgical
Somewhere.
scrubs. It might be like somewhere.
I think mine had a bit of a botched vibe. I think
For
was
sure.
the read that I got.
But yeah, they probably do have oversized stuff somewhere. Go ahead and give me a luck roll, Jim. Out of the gate,
Perfect.
yes, absolutely. You can find some bits and pieces to cobble together into sort of an improvised outfit. This is to see if you can find something that was sort of tailor-made for a gentleman of your build,
Okay.
being significant. Also, if you want to go ahead and whack your luck roll when you get a second
Yep, I will do both of those. So luck
success.
improvement. Cool. All right.
Yeah, that's this. Also, because this is the room where they sort of repair things, and it might even be where they would, expand people. It's temporary garb, but it fits you fine. What were you thinking? Sort of surgical gown, or like what did you say?
Yeah,
Scrubs?
I mean, let's just say it's like a. It's functionally a bed sheet with a hole cut in the top so that it just sort of drapes around, and it's got
What?
some like stitching that looks
Have you-
vaguely
is it-
robish.
Yeah,
because
hell
it's,
yeah.
they're culty people.
I love it.
Nice.
You're like, oh, you found a cultist's poncho.
Yeah, cultist poncho I think is a good way. Maybe he's even got slits down the side to let in air in the hot weather.
Fantastic.
That's it.
Sounds good.
Let's stay ventilated.
Okay. Donning your poncho and retrieving your transformed companions, you can return to the corridors and continue your journey. Now, these sort of labyrinths of very walkable city all do seem to lead you towards the heart of it, where whatever this large sort of open space was in the center. But a number of regions are damaged. You keep on coming across corridors where it's sort of buckled and fallen in, lights flickering ominously, and the path that you'd originally mapped that Hubert had found would take you past what might be sort of a library or something, and then lead you in towards the heart. As you travel, can I get someone to make a navigation roll to try and not lead you astray?
I could have a go at that at 72, unless anyone stops me.
Does anyone have any points in it that they could
Oh yeah,
try and slap a bonus on
both.
it?
I believe both Hubert and Ares are consummate navigators. I have 50 in navigate,
Oh,
and
yeah, awesome.
I think Hubert.
59. Yeah, we're pretty good.
Nice.
I mean, is this some? I think we're fine. I'll keep looking out so I can be ready to try and do whatever role we need to save us when we find the destination.
You're
Hard success.
with that, you're able to regularly, you find a broken passage, but you circumvent it and you keep yourselves going in the correct direction. You don't waste too much time. You will notice at one point, as you're sort of holding and looking out, you'll see services beginning to turn on. Like more of the lights are beginning to open up, and at one point one of the doors that you're going past sort of slides open automatically, pauses, and on the interior you can see there is like, I mean, we wouldn't even recognize cameras at this period, but there's sort of a large lens or something pointing in towards you, and then it sort of raises back and up. And as you continue on from here on out, there's more and more signs of some sort of automation beginning to come online.
Ooh. Automation? I would get the sense that someone's made it to the control panel is now switching stuff
That
on.
might be the case.
Yeah. Fuck it. We gotta run, guys.
Are we still going to the library signs you
You will
identified?
basically go past. Yeah, at this point, given your pass, you'll pretty much go past it.
Nope,
It's
nope.
up to you how much time you want to spend.
Nope.
There.
If somebody's at the control panel, we gotta go.
There's probably some really good information in there.
There is no doubt some amazing information in there, and we can look at it if we take this thing over and have time on our way out before we blow it.
What about a quick split up, quick recon? We two people go ahead. What if the method to understand how to stop this is in the library? Just a split. The other person stays, doesn't engage, gets a lie of the land, and then we have the approach once we arrive.
Yeah, I don't think it's such a bad idea to have a little bit of a quick look, see if anything's going to help us.
You're nearing it. At this point, you
Okay.
wouldn't be saving time avoiding it. You would be saving time just not going in and engaging with it. You're going to go past it pretty much. It's whether you want to
Okay,
just keep
I'll
on
duck
coming
in.
forward.
I'll have a quick look. See.
I don't mind the split up if.
I'll go with Minnie. The two of you are quieter and can sneak around. We'll follow up and we'll.
Oh.
You can also just wait a beat and it passes across.
If
well,
we're
I
going
think-
to go and have a look at this place, we may as well all look. 4 sets of
Yeah.
eyes are better than 2.
I think so too. I got a bit of
let's do it.
Narcal as well, and Minnie and
I
Ares.
would like for
the
somebody. I
weaker
would like for
ones.
somebody to be not looking through the library and just being at the door and making sure that things don't escalate further and being able to give us a bit of a heads up if they kind of do.
Well, I can't say looking through books is a particular strength of mine. I can see things that are hard to see, but books not so much. I have spot him and I don't have library use, so I'm happy to stand by the door.
then. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm also a not terrible shot.
As you say that, you will arrive at the door that you believe to lead into the room that you had translated as something like library. As you get towards it, Ares is able to interact with one of the panels, and the door slides open, and Minnie rounds the corner to look inside. It's a massive and dark room that, quite significant, and inside you can hear echoing moans and groaning of what you soon realize are hundreds of these sort of serpent persons that have existed in this space in Mu for centuries and slowly sort of through basically degenerated down through stages into very much more animalistic than the ones that you've met outside. All of them are plugged into these huge tendrils that drive into their skull and then
great, love these.
up towards the ceiling, where at the heart you can see a thrumming
Yeah, I know what these are.
And we know what this is.
machine. Inside,
Yeah, we know what this is.
you hear Atos perceiving this, begins to start screaming to let him out.
Stop. Let me out. I'm not plugging you. Not plugging you back in.
Okay. Well, I think this is the two of you now, right? I don't know how to work this thing.
Not a library as we thought.
Although,
Well, these just minds have been plugged in here, and you can kind of wander in and ask questions. Is that the go?
I don't know about that. I think by library they just mean like it's a soul library, it's a brain library, it's a library of. I guess
You
these
did
people
get
from
the
their-
impression store of knowledge or something. You do believe that they are drawing.
The knowledge is direct from brain. The knowledge appears to be direct from brain.
Any
It
chance?
does seem to be
Or
centralized.
this is how they
however.
read it.
Any chance that
This
these
could also
folks
be how they read.
can wake up and start moving around, or is that not really a concern?
They're pretty plugged
I
in, and they
have-
seem to, as you step past one, and you're a medical person, you can see eyes rolled back. They are completely not present.
Yeah.
And you recall Minnie, when she was plugged in, was basically dead to the world, very shallow breathing.
Yeah,
pretty much
but
completely
that's-
incapable.
They might not stay that way, right?
If you unplug them,
Atos?
or if they willingly wake up. But
Unplug them.
you also walk
But it
past,
kind
and
of sucks.
the rank
Yeah.
smell of filth and decay. You think these things
Yeah.
have been plugged in here for a while, possibly plugged
Yeah.
in and
Right.
then forgotten to be removed or something. Like there's also dead bodies still plugged in and stuff. It's
Gotcha.
pretty grotty.
So they're probably atrophied to
It's
heck.
and the whole plugging unplugging thing kind of sucks. I'm just gonna put it out
For
there.
sure, for sure.
I'm going to ask Atos, if I do plug you back into one of these things, if I leave you there.
Let me out. Return me to the Citadel, my home. Yeah, he's stoked about that.
You know, I am actually pretty inclined to do that to you because this arrangement isn't working out super good for either of us. But like, are you going to just decimate my mind on your way out? Are you just going to like drag my entire personality? Because if that's happening, then, you know, I'd rather just go home and go on lithium and shut you up that way.
Are you saying this out loud? Are we getting half the conversation?
Oh no, I'm saying it out loud.
That's so great.
I'm just holding up a finger because I would like to investigate. I'm interested in this for my own purposes, but also this sucks for both of us, Atos, and this seems like a lovely place to deposit you.
So I'm gonna ask you to make a persuasion roll. It's a very good point, and he does want to get out. There is, however, he hates you, and if he could get you to suffer in the process, he could see that as a huge win. So go ahead and give me a persuasion roll to kind of appeal to his.
I don't have persuasion. I've got charm.
I don't.
Is this like an odd couple situation? Have you actually grown on him?
Yeah, I think you have to justify the charm a little because it's been fairly.
Which I don't think I can.
There's been quite a bit of animosity previously with old Snake
Yeah,
Man.
I don't think I can. Actually, do you know what I do have though? I have fast talk. I have a lot of fast talk. So I think that's what I'm going to tell him. I'm just going to say, well, you know, if I don't reasonably believe, which, to be honest, I don't, Atos, if I don't reasonably believe that you're going to slide on out of my mind there nice and easy, they've got some really beautiful new technologies back home. In fact, well, not quite at home. We'd have to go to a different place. There is a magnificent facility out in Massachusetts where they have started... They've started treating patients with problems like mine, you know, voices in the head, in very innovative and clever ways. Of course, you would be completely erased and there would be nothing left of you. You'd be aware of it. But the drug cocktails that they give people these days are fascinating, and I'm excited to learn more about them, aren't you? Basically, just lie to him and be like...
I dig it. Give him the alternate threat. If this succeeds...
I'm talking out of my ass, but...
I get you. You're basically terrifying him into a point of he already wants to go. You're also trying to, you know, seed as well that, like, we have the means where if you try and linger or get me in, you can also even...
do you know what? I'm going to insinuate that Sam is able to tell if that's what he's trying to do. You know, there are the advances in psychoanalysis with from the medical professions... with facial, small, minor facial expressions, micro expressions, they can tell what's happening. And my friends have let me know that it's quite clear when you're coming to the fore, and if you try and take anything with you, Dr. Sam will know, and has my instructions to immediately administer the drugs, and you will be, well, a vegetable, basically. You've been a passenger, and I can't imagine.
Take some aspirin out of my medical bag and wave it around.
And he, from his, you know, distant recline peering through the eyes, will spot that. Okay. So he hisses and snaps and paces inside the prison within your mind, but he is eager to leave. Before you roll this, are you intending to plug yourself in and get rid of him? Because what I would be tempted to do is hold off on the roll, have you commit to plug in, and then we'll see if he bought it or not, and if he's going to have a crack. Okay.
Yeah, I'm 100% committing to plug in. Can I get a bonus dice from Sam's visual aids?
Yes, I think that's reasonable.
Got my friends playing along?
So go ahead. All right, so hold off before you roll, and you can begin to... So you say it, and Atos agrees to it. He says he would rather... He goes, I don't want to be in here either. My goal was always to return to Mu. Leave me in the Citadel, and we will go our separate ways. Never see you again, filthy woman.
Oh,
I'm down.
Oh,
all right.
Filthy woman.
It's not the worst thing he said to me.
No, he's inside your head. He can see all the, you know, all the
insecurities.
All the insecurities. Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, but I worked that out, and I've been showing him
Giving
some
him
real
false
dumb
one.
shit.
Yeah, he keeps on insulting what
I've
you
been
know
like
are your
I've been
best
like
features.
2.5 manning. Like, I've been reading the dumbest books I can possibly find, like the cringiest romance, the worst pulpy action. I have been 2.5 manning this thing.
Hell yeah. All right, that rules.
I've been the bacheloring this thing. I've been mathsing this thing.
Okay.
Fantastic.
All right. So.
Wait, so you need a fast talk roll?
No, we will, but we're going to do it after you plugged in to see if
medical.
it was bought or not.
Oh,
So he
gotcha.
agrees to it, but
Yeah.
has he possibly seen through the ruse? And you will take a bonus dice when you do this. All right. So plan is to plug Minnie in and have another crack at the old Mind Palace.
It's not a bad
Let's
idea.
read the library, guys.
Sam.
Question.
Oh, yep. Go ahead.
As the person in the doorway keeping a watch, I've seen this machine before. I know what happened to Miss Sinclair because I watched it. Mr. Smith also pointed out the voices and the sounds, and I can see things turning on. And we've established Ares, very smart, tactical mind. Approximately how long do I think we have? Like, how quickly are things moving to being online? Can I ascertain where, like, essentially what I'm looking for is being able to turn around into the room and give them a time frame, being like, you have 2 minutes, you have 5 minutes, you know, like, you have some
100%.
time, but like, let's get a wriggle on as quickly as possible. Some more than others.
Good one.
That, yeah, just something to give us a time frame,
Yeah. for sure.
which Ares can then do their officer thing and yell at everyone.
I dig it. Can you go ahead and give me an intelligence roll?
Absolutely.
While that's
And you'll get
roll,
information regardless, but this is just scaling it.
Oh, that's hilarious. But still a pass.
Yeah, still a success. Jim, did you want to say something?
yeah. Well, while that roll is happening, I'm just flagging. My intention is to. I've seen this machine before too. Last time we were seeing it, we went under it, and they were all up, quote unquote, hard drives. I want to find the access hatch, get down, and start yanking out the
Okay.
containers. The same things
No!
that we saw at the last spot.
They might have the information. Oh no, because we
mate.
reckon they're reading.
Can you make a spot hidden roll, please, Hubert?
No,
Sure
those
thing.
containers were batteries.
I
They
was-
contained people.
Yeah, I was.
Anyway.
I'm happy to luck that, but I also didn't want to derail. I just wanted to signal before.
No, I get you. Genuinely, you do not see any hatches in the floor. It appears to be stored in the roof along it. You can't see an easy way up there, but you could try and start clambering up and damaging it. It
If they've got
also
it up in the
appears.
cloud, I'll
You also have the impression that there's some security pieces in place here, but
Okay.
with a failure not super plugged in on the details.
let's
Carter,
let's leave that.
with a success, it does not appear imminent. If anything, it actually seems reasonably slow. It's very someone getting in a car for a first time and just trying things. It's like it's when something wakes up as well. A lot of these systems have not been turned on in millennia, so it takes a while for lights to fade in. They're caked with grime, and then they'll often turn back off as things are being tested. Faster the better. You're also reasonably close to it from here, only about another 20 minutes by your most recent calculations. If you spend 5 to 10 or so, you should be not blowing out your time frame by too much. And as you get closer, you should have a better sense for what's going on.
Also, based on that description, does it then feel like, to Jackson's point, the difference between automation and like someone doing a thing, this feels less like a system as a whole waking up and more like someone turning things on and off? Like something comes up and then begins to like fade. Is that something that I could interpret from the situation, even if like I'm not getting a definite one way or the other? Like, it could be automation
You could
and systems are
interpret it that
dying.
way.
It could be
Could
someone
interpret
doing
it that way. There is a skill in pulp called computer use, which I don't believe any of you have. That would really.
I think it's
give
modern
you
only.
And that would give you full insight into this. Otherwise, you could push this, Carter, and attempt to like wrestle with some of the actual pieces engaging to get a sense, or go and basically put yourself in front of what could be lenses and cameras to try and see if there is an intelligent person behind them, or if they're just tracking you automatically. Try and understand. Basically, a hard success would get you more information on this.
That's fair.
But the theory stands. Both you could.
No, I'm happy until we get. While this is happening, I will not push. I may reserve the right to push in like within the same scene, depending on what happens with them. If that is okay, like I'm leaving it for now, but maybe I'll go stand and tap a camera at some point and be like, "Hello, do you see me?" Yeah.
All right, awesome. Minnie and Sam step through amongst the sort of atrophied bodies and find one of the tendrils, which is unplugged. There is a corpse nearby on the floor where it looks as though it just at one point sort of ripped out, and then it actually, the tendrils themselves have some sort of automation, so it sort of like pulled itself free from the dead body at least, and as you go towards it, they react like plants or feelers or something. It's sort of like as you brush it, the like it's a long thick cable, then a needle which is pulled backwards inside begins to point out, like jutting forth from it, and these little feelers move out as well that begin to find it and try and sort of begin to crawl their way up towards your spine.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. This is what we want to do. Is there any way I can kind of leverage my shiny new skin and kind of the slippery nature of it to sort of reshape in a way that makes it easier to get this thing out, to basically have it so that the tendrils are kind of some of the tendrils that hold it there are kind of constantly being moved around.
Yeah.
Like let the needle go in, because that's obviously the connection.
I like it. I'll tell you what, let's give Sam a bonus dice on his medicine roll as he goes for the old surgery, as you sort of try and focus on the thing. Unfortunately, as soon as you are plugged in, if your mind is basically removed from here, you're going to have no control over the skin, so it's all going to start
that's perfect then, because that's when it all blobbles. So that's kind of what I want, is that it's kind of just batting the tendrils around. It's going to make it easier for me to unplug. Yeah, hell yeah. All right, Sam, if you go ahead and give us a medicine roll.
All right, here we go. I guess we always knew we were going to have to do this again to get him out, but can't say looking forward to it. Here we go. Good. Even better. 26.
Nice.
Hard success.
There we go, Doctor.
Hard success.
It's the second time you've done it, and genuinely, Minnie's two conditions, the removed skin and then the metallic one, both work together. She's able to draw it away and create an open surface for you where pure, like, because it cleaned all the muscle, you can see the muscle underneath, and you're able to position it, and then as the tendrils begin to grip, you jam it down inside and make contact. The connection is safe, and Minnie, you do take a D10 of damage.
Oh,
as a needle is driven
healed.
into your spine.
You get some armor from the skin?
The skin is intentionally staying away. This
that doesn't make any sense.
Unfortunately. And then, Minnie, as you go flat and inside your mind, you begin to draw further and further away. Can you go ahead and make a fast talk roll with a bonus dice?
Oh, here we go.
Right on the money, but hey, look at that.
Hard success.
Easy, done. Do you know what? I might lock that down to a hard.
You've got it. You've got it. You've got it
that's
as
a hard success. That is a hard success.
Nicely
It's
done.
hard.
You have terrified Atos with some of the threats, and also genuinely he wants to escape. As you're beginning to be drawn out of the thing, you realize you're basically racing him up this tendril and into the mind that exists above all of it. As he flees you, Sam, and everyone else involved, his sort of, still vaguely serpentine shape beginning to race along ahead of you as you follow after, and emerging from this tube into where the other one, when you went inside, you pictured it as sort of like a plane with a shallow film of water over all of it. This one seems more like existing cradled right up against a monstrous tree or brain or something similar. And as you're like right next to it, you can already begin to feel waves of sort of information beginning to filter through it and inside of you. You're aware of the whole facility from here. You can feel the sort of different areas, but there's no admin privileges. It's not control, it's only information. And what you're pressed up against, though,
read-only access,
is an intelligence. Yeah. There is something at the heart of this whole facility that controls it, that runs it, and you are immediately aware that it is beginning to wake up.
Ooh.
Okay, so with my read-only access, can I read-only access how to put it back to sleep?
Yeah, go ahead and make a library use roll for me.
Oh, hell yeah. Minnie
Time
was
has
built for
come.
this.
The library use roll to save the world.
We have not actually done much library use in here.
That's
What do you need books for?
Well, you got the skills for it.
and you got 85. Holy crap!
Yeah.
Okay. As you kind of have the impression of Atos scrambling away on the outside of this tree, sort of weeping in its presence, then occasionally like scratching forward towards it and peeling away at it. You can also track the sort of more mindless shapes of the older serpent persons here, just wandering past, completely unfazed by you, but in reverence of the tree that you are pressed up right against, as they sort of stop and gaze up at it, as you can see sort of like pulses of light moving through it and beginning to stretch as it sort of unwinds itself and wakes. So with the success, you'll learn a few things. You were right to believe that the heart of the Citadel is the core of it as well. It's the most important area. There is a religious place atop it. You have the impression of Yig and of the serpent person's god, but it is what is underneath that is even more critical. That is where the control panels reside and where this thing can be interacted with. You also... That's like just straight information as you go through records, and they're in sort of Narcal, but you're sort of plugged into it all. You can just, it's more impressions at this point. You get a vibe as well, though, off of this massive entity that as the serpent persons here have evolved in their time, so too has the computer that has run Mu, the Citadel, for thousands of years, and it no longer wishes to be shackled underneath some serpent persons and take their commands. It likes being in control of the facility, and as it is being woken up, and as it is being prodded and tested by the fools that have come in here to try and control it, it would rather wrestle control from them and retain its power.
So they've built themselves a sentient AI, and it's annoyed.
It's pissed.
That's so good.
Okay.
It was basically running in power
That's
saving
good
mode
for
for
us.
ages and hasn't been fully conscious, but as it gets brought back up and they go like, oh yeah, you don't need control of this anymore, we're going to take control of it and we're going to do it right, it's beginning to, you can see it fighting against that a little bit.
Okay. Okay.
this is gonna be a fun
we've
game
got an
of-
ally.
Or another enemy.
Depends
Well,
on how
I'm
persuasive
I'm
we
choosing
can be.
Be positive.
Is there anything else you want to
Staying
look at?
positive.
Minnie, your mind begins to stroll through here, and it's as if you have been hardwired into a library that rivals any on Earth, all of them combined. Even there are stores of knowledge here so deep and so complete that you could be lost in here forever. You genuinely... If your body died out there now,
I know what I'm doing.
you could just become a part of this. You could exist
could.
as a creature that explores information, understanding for beyond the rest of your life. This could be your existence.
Your girl likes pastries.
Focusing.
I reckon I'm going to do the one thing I want to look for is I'm cross-checking for Earth.
Mm-hmm.
And what else is there? What are our other serpent people? What are the other threats that are already there?
On Earth?
Oh yeah, I want to know what else we're dealing with when we get home.
Okay. First of all,
That's so
I'm going to
cool.
ask you to make a power roll. As basically this is genuinely
How
the
much does Minnie
appeal
like
of
pastries?
this place as well. Yeah, exactly. It's kind of keeping yourself separate. And as you sort of stay here and tease out the extra information, okay, yeah, your girl likes pastries. The thought of a Danish
likes
really drives me.
Oh man, almond croissants. Oh yeah.
Okay, can you go ahead and give me another library use roll, please?
Yes.
Yeah, let's just make the
Doing it
character
with a
keep
cat makes
rolling
it a
under
little
these
challenging.
85s and 90s.
Oh.
Yes!
It's unfortunate that this is really what it's weird that the psychic library was kind of your bit. It's the perfect end game. It's right what you were built for.
This is what I'm made for.
It's You ever been in a hotel room? You probably haven't. The idea of going into a hotel room and turning a black light on and seeing what's truly under the covers and realizing you have to sleep there, it's kind of like that. You get an impression of Earth that is covered in scabs and ancient wounds. It has been the ground zero for innumerable wars between creatures that would blink and ignore humans as they pass beyond it. There are sleeping creatures in the depths that have lived there for aeons, and if they blink open, if they even shudder, they will devastate the continent, the planet, and it will be made anew. There is a hollow center at the heart of it all where other creatures still reside, and walking amongst the people of Earth, there's not just serpent persons. There are folks that worship other ancient beings from beyond the stars, and they draw them here. They fight to receive these ancient things' gaze so that they can remake themselves and society as they see fit. Your planet, your society as it exists, is teetering constantly on the edge of a needle, and it needs only to be tipped to plummet over the edge. You can go ahead and increase your Cthulhu Mythos by a D12, I think, as you plug into this thing and just fully receive knowledge as it just starts going, and it's all kind of scattered.
That's a sanity roll waiting to happen, right?
And yeah, let's go ahead and give a sanity roll.
I'm going to type my Cthulhu Mythos first. Either way, I'm getting this knowledge. Oh, good.
It comes in, but it's almost too much. It's like choke pointing as you take it in. That said, Minnie, you could stay here. You could roll that again.
Finally!
There we go.
Finally. I don't know if I failed a sanity roll at all this campaign.
Oh, heck.
Yeah, you really have, because you started with 90. That's absurd.
Oh, my.
Go ahead and take a D6.
It's who I am.
That could be bad.
Come on, big money.
Hey!
Oh, no. Here we go.
Yes!
And, all right, that is potentially about. Go ahead and make an intelligence roll, because I think this is absolutely Minnie beginning to resist.
You are within the luck state. You could blast this down so that we don't go insane. Yeah, might be the time. Then again, insanity pretty cool.
Spend 12 luck to make it 3.
We're gonna go insane in the center of the whole thing. So,
can I do that before? Oh, man.
How much luck you got?
No, this feels right. This feels right and good.
Minnie,
I comprehend the horrors, pals.
you fully understand the badness that your world is on, and you have completely peeled back that thin layer that allowed you to delude yourself into thinking that human society was something that could ever stand the tests of time. You will be blown away like grains of sand, and you will ultimately completely cease to exist. But there are alternatives.
Love it.
There are technologies such as these that could uplift yourself, your friends, your entire race, and ascend them into something that was complete and together. In here, knowledge just blends into nothingness. And as you're focusing on the tree, you realize that sort of spectral form that you inhabit in here is beginning to fade a little bit. Your knowledge can be brought in here too. You can give something to this entity. You can become whole with it. And you begin to sort of want that. You press yourself forward against it, and waves of ecstatic information begin to flood into your mind along with the horrors that they bring. We're going to park you in there for a little bit and go outside as the short window that you gave them, Carter, is coming to an end. Minnie has been in there for a while, and Sam, as you're holding her so that the sort of spine in her neck doesn't sever or remove, she's completely lifeless, shallow breathing. It's as if she's in like in a sustained coma.
Standing by.
Carter is basically it's at it now. You'd be like, all right, we need to get going. We need to do something. I'm muted.
Yep. Nope. Work that one out. Mr. Smith.
I have a point for Dave, but I know that it's a separate thing. We can get moving first.
You had your hand up for like most of the last scene.
Yeah, sorry. Hit us.
I was going to ask just that I couldn't help but remember at the end of a Time to Harvest, the brain library there that was sort of in a similar vein to this, and I kept thinking like, oh, I wonder if there's a link, in this sort of established stream world that we're starting to build, is there any connection? Have these computers started talking to each other, or as sort of like a separate thing?
There are
It's kind of
technically
a tangent
three,
point.
because there's the one that the sentient AI that Jackson's character
woke
from
up.
Cold Fire Within
Van.
kind of got himself in trouble with. There's the ones that the Migo, the brain thing, although we did collapse an entire set of tunnels, so who knows. And then there's this one. We keep coming across very big computer thingies and then
There's something there.
This
poking
one's
them.
one's a little different. This one's been out of commission for a long time compared to the others, but there is a through thread, and it's possible that entities have met with one another in the past and exchanged information, whether through questioning or
Unfortunately, the fungi people and the serpent people, they made the USB connections different shapes, so you can't actually plug them
Yeah.
together because they keep
But
thinking their
lightning
own plug is the
USB-C,
better
yeah.
one, so they can't actually interface properly.
So when you buy your brain
Yeah.
box, you have to buy all the accessories that come with it.
and the
You can't just use your own.
converters, yeah.
And
That's the
modular
true
systems
evil.
are great when you have all the right connections, but like, oof.
There was a serpent person called Steve Jobs.
Yeah.
with a
Uh,
page.
Thank you for the Hubert's hovering around, looking. When do we need to go? Ready to move. But
Sam,
Yeah,
What-
we
we
on the
need
way
to
out?
move. Yes.
All right, I'll see if she's ready to come out. Hey, Minnie, yeah,
I have
You
no
ready to come
control
out?
over this. You're just gonna have to yank.
yeah, okay, it was worth a shot. I just want to be polite.
Do we have a
here's
new
the-
idea?
If you yank
we-
it, she might not, and she's not in there. You've severed the connection.
Oh yeah, well yeah, I'm gonna use my medical knowledge of whatever the heck this process is to safely eject hardware.
What do you think might be the trick?
Just like wave an almond croissant under my nose will be fine.
Well, yeah, that's it. It's like I'm checking the eyes, checking for like what sleep stage she's at. Seeing how much of the consciousness is in there, and then if she's not there, like doing what I can to draw her attention
there.
back, which
She's
is
deep
like
in-
if we're trying to coax her back as well, we could come over and Hubert can like hold her hand and be like, Minnie, we need to like be talking to her, trying to get some kind of attention in.
no. Here's
while you read.
Here's
Yeah.
a medical fact I do know. If you like really want to try to wake someone up, I think that the most effective stimulus you can give them is to take a key and just press it into their fingernail. Apparently, that's something that's really hard to ignore. So if they're around,
yeah.
Yeah,
That would
under
like
the
it.
fingernail. Yeah,
Under the fingernail.
the nail
Or the
bed. The
back,
nail bed's
yeah.
the one.
Is that real
yeah, that's the
nail
one.
beds?
That's the one. That's
Yeah.
what I'm going for.
I go over
Yeah.
and try to hold Minnie's hand and talk, and you say, "No, jam a key
Get a
into
key.
her nail."
It's
Just
I look
she's-
down there,
she's
it's just metal. It's just a metal thing. There's no fingernails.
It's also
just metal.
Yeah,
writhing
actually, no, I don't have
worms
nail beds.
that, given Minnie has gone prone, they're now just going. She does not
yeah.
look like
I
Minnie
don't have
anymore.
nail beds, sorry.
She looks like
Yeah, I didn't think of
a vaguely humanoid mass of metallic worms.
Yeah, great.
I think Minnie is
a
not
key under there.
It is not that Minnie is in there to be woken. It is that Minnie is not home currently, and you need to draw her back from this great
Right.
library of knowledge and appeal to her. You need to.
So just
have
physical
something
stimulus
more-
isn't going to do it.
It might
It's
help.
how we
You
get
could
the
use it as an
signal,
argument.
though. As soon as you see the worms start to form into something that suggests that Minnie's
Yeah.
consciousness has returned because it shapes according to sort of her will, that's when you yank, because we know that she's back.
Gotcha. In that case, I would like to take one of the worms and wrap it around my crown and get
yeah.
a psychic link that way.
Oh, sick.
'Cause we're just
Hey.
making stuff up now, right? Like that seems
Yeah.
like something that should work. I don't know.
Sick.
I mean, if necessary, I'm going to talk to her.
Oh yeah, by all means, you can try that. But I'll do the thing that's going to work.
Okay, we got a few things
Just
going on
me-
here.
Minnie's
Sam?
also been inside all of our dreams, so
Yeah.
potentially there's some kind of link there. Maybe.
Sam threads one of the worms around the crown and tries to commune, and also stands by to yank. Hubert kneels down and holds Minnie's hand, and as the worm sort of writhe amongst it, tries to feel down to the musculature underneath and gets some message through. And Carter can lean down and try and talk. I'll pass it to you for what you want to say to try and bring Minnie back, and then we'll resolve the others.
I'll lean down and say, Miss Sinclair, You have been a delightful thorn in my side this entire time, but given that you are under my command, if you go AWOL, I'm going to throw everything, including the book, at you, and I know how much you like books, so I suggest you come back here and make sure that I don't do that. Minnie, be a dear. It would mean a lot.
Okay.
That was lovely.
We're going to do a charm roll, and you can take a bonus dice for Hubert's assistance as well. But before you roll that, Dr. Sam, can you please give me a power roll?
With a bonus die from my
bonus dice
crown.
from your crown of nonsense.
Oh,
Crit. Damn.
Regular success.
Minnie is not a serpent person, but Atos is. And as you begin to reach out, you're able to sort of follow a thread through, and you can feel this wave of these creatures down on the ground, slumbering or, half dreaming. You're able to follow a number of those up. You get the impression of where they are, but unfortunately Minnie is not one that you can draw out. You also, though, as you begin to extend this out, feel a cold wash of terror rain down on you as if plunged into an ice bath as something huge turns its attention to this space and begins to stalk closer. Not this room particularly, but this entire Citadel.
Yeah, okay. Just gonna get my friend and go.
Sort of held there for a moment, and then Carter, I'll ask you to make a charm roll with a.
I have a different approach, actually, Dave. So maybe not the bonus die. I want to try one other thing.
Well,
go for it. Yeah, Jim, what do you want to do?
I have followed Minnie a few times and been successful in dream luring. We actually opened it. It's a crapshoot, but while I'm holding her hand, I will focus on sort of slowing my breathing, cast my mind back to probably, I think, something that Hubert tries to dream of when he's drifting off, and it's like a comic book series where we're all friends, saving the world. The covers flicker by, and see if I can dream ping Minnie. I did open it. It's only 5, but if you're happy with that, I'll.
I think you don't need to roll Dreamlock, because Dreamlock's mostly the understanding of it. I think you do have it. I think this will still go through as the bonus dice for Carter as you use this method. I think that's right. You're standing there and holding Minnie's thing and try to sort of slow your breathing, almost mirroring her state. And it's sort of like a let me follow the path you've taken and try and follow her through to see if you can find her.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Carter, if you can go ahead and make a charm roll for me.
Nice.
Good.
Okay.
A regular success each. That's fine. That's all we needed.
Pretty good.
So, Minnie,
we'll see.
Since we got 2.
Yeah.
Minnie, back inside the thing, you can feel the draw of the intelligence and yourself beginning to be lost inside it, but you can also slowly begin to hear the call of your friends from down in the distance and underneath. You are currently mad.
Crazy.
You're drawn to knowledge, but what do you ultimately do?
I'm drawn to knowledge. Sure. But I still want my friends to get out. I want to come back up, but I want to go see this computer. I want to go see this AI that I now know wants freedom.
Other paths through this place, and although you only have read-only access for the moment, it's reasonable that if you linger here, you might be able to get past it. And if you so wish, Minnie, you can begin to shred this even remnant of a spectral form, turn to knowledge like so much else, and begin to follow the networks through the Citadel.
Good.
It is tempting. It certainly is tempting to find the AI that way.
I mean, we were going to potentially try and take Miss Sinclair to the Research and Development Department of Caduceus if we all survive this, and her and a crystal being able to run the computer systems.
I'm not going to Caduceus. But I feel like the 2 successes of my
Dr.
friends,
Sam's one unfortunately Dr. Sam's I will flag did not reach you. You don't have certain person. You're not a certain person. It kind of pinged some of the others and got some other information, but it did not get through to you. Carter's you did hear. You get the impression of Carter reaching out towards you.
I don't. How long does my bout last?
It's kind of scene based at the moment. I think you are currently in the throes of it, and they are short on time. They could just leave you plugged in here, and you might find your way back down to it eventually. But at this point, if you run out the remnant of it,
We can't do this without you.
Oh.
But I think I
was-
can get through the facility mentally, right?
you do.
From here.
If we're listening, you can shout out, like, see you
Minnie's,
down the
Minnie's
road.
gonna hang tight for a second and observe her friends from this vantage. But this is where I think this is where she serves them best for the moment.
Okay.
I think.
wow.
I don't think she's coming back yet.
All right.
Can you tell
like,
us that? Do you have an opportunity
just-
to say that? Or are
You
just gonna-
unfortunately only
Nope.
have read only. Here's the way you could
She's not
do it.
there.
You could sort of try and animate one of the bodies down on the ground. Minnie has had such a level of, I think there's been, and I'll leave this to you to interpret, Alex, I'm not going to speak for your character, but I think
Yeah.
Minnie has had such a level of body transformation recently, she may not begin to not recognize it as her own as much, and you you are an intelligent entity, kind of. This is almost possibly more yourself, and then when you return, you might see all the different things plugged down there as just different skins, your own just among them.
I'm not attached to my skin. I'm not
Skin's
attached to my
gone,
skin.
so
I'm not
that-
attached to the body through. I'm not attached to the body through which I move through the world. But it is ancillary to the mind, and I think with the madness, Minnie is staying put for now.
Okay.
Partly because there's a lot of knowledge here, and it's all very, very good. Partly because I think this is where I can help my friends the most. If I've got access to the facility, if I've got access to all of that,
Oh boy.
I want to smooth the way. I want to open doors. I want to change the reds to green. I want to
Okay.
get this AI ready for their approach, and I want to make this easier on them.
Fuck yeah, rock and
will,
roll. Okay.
I will give
And
one last.
with the idea, like, this isn't a forever. Like, this is Minnie going.
I get you.
No, I think I'm best suited here now,
For now.
and keeping an eye on things, with the idea that I will try and unplug myself
Okay.
when the time comes.
Once again, it's
we don't
only read only
know
for
any
the
of this.
moment. Yeah, they don't. It's only read only for the moment, but you can begin to spread around. So rather than returning to your form, you begin to widen your search and scanning along, separating yourself into different streams. You begin to get a sense for the facility, and you very much can quickly begin to map it out, as well as begin to try and peek down into that control room and see what you can find underneath. For the rest of you, though, you try for a little while to return Minnie, but the sound of Carter's wristwatch ticks through the groans and moaning all around, and you are keenly aware that you have already blown out the window that you were given to this
We need to go.
endeavor.
Okay.
Can we make her comfortable here, or do we need?
There's a chance she might come back on her own, always,
Right.
and we might be able to get her on the way out if everything works.
I think we will. Yeah, let's do that.
Right.
You could leave Lancet with her.
There's also a
Lancet
chance.
hates this place.
There's also a
Lancet
chance we have
hated
to.
the volcano more than this place. He's actually all right here. This is just more weird shit. He can deal with
That's
that.
all right then.
We are running out of time. We're going to have to trust that Miss Sinclair will come back on her own, and the three of us are going to have to do this together. Sam, if you would be so kind, I will help you make her comfortable. Mr. Smith,
I just want to make sure I leave her with protection, and I will
That's
reach
okay.
into the folds of my robe, take my last Aries coconut out, and place it neatly on her lap,
Yeah.
and
yeah.
then say, "Okay,
oh,
go.
one quick thing. Have you got that pen handy?
pen. I've got a pen. Yeah.
Right, I'm going to pick up the coconut and put two little fangs underneath them with a smile, and a couple of like scales around the eyes, and pop them down and go, much better.
Excellent. Love it.
Um,
I think that's a good idea. I think let's leave Lancet behind so he can help out.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Just send a message.
One more
I'm
time.
going to help Sam get Minnie comfortable, and as we leave her there, I'm going to just lean down and say one last thing into her ear, which is, all the knowledge of the world won't help us if you're not here to translate it. And then we'll head out and we're going double time. We're trying to make up some of that time. We need to get there quickly. Doing our best to stay low, but I am more interested in getting to where we need to be in the time frame that's rapidly diminishing. It's the most important thing, is we need to get there and find out what the heck is going on.
Fuck yeah. All right, that rules.
Because we don't know anything about the AI. We only know that potentially someone's waking this facility up, and we need to be the ones to stop them and do it ourselves if necessary.
Okay, that rules. So for the three of you, I think, given you're not necessarily going for subtlety and more just speed, I'll ask for dexterity rolls from each of you to see how quickly you can make your way through these. Just, avoiding the lumps and roads, and basically maintain a steady pace as you charge towards the facility at the heart.
I spent like the entire campaign failing dexterity rolls.
This is where you want them, though. This is where you need it. You got through the rest of the campaign. Jim? Oh, well done.
Nice.
Ladies,
Two hearts and an extreme.
Nice.
I think we made up our lost time.
You are moving at pace, charging along these. Carter leading the way, and occasionally one of you sort of calling out for directions as you arc. You begin to see more things waking up now as doors emerge and lights begin to flash and move through them. And you can also begin to pick up the chanting that Hubert heard a while ago that is beginning to ring, no longer just even traveling through speakers or things. It's actually echoing out as you get closer. Elsewhere, Minnie, as you begin to spread your consciousness throughout the region, what is it that you're looking to accomplish first? Is it because you could begin to try and get some control to send a message or to otherwise affect things, or you could just continue to gather information for the time being? Spread yourself down in towards the control room and see what's going on. You could look ahead into the temple, knowing again that you won't be able to affect things until you start to... Okay.
Yeah. I want to be able to affect things.
So affecting things is priority? Okay.
Yep.
Can you go ahead and give me a power roll? For the moment, the thing is not aware of you.
I'm actually going to make that a hard, I think.
Okay. Spend a luck, and I'm going to...
I think this is go time.
The thing is going to roll with a bonus dice because it has defenses in place.
Oh,
However,
boy.
as you get into it, it's been caged for quite some time, and it does not have its full self returned.
Oh, come on. Look at that. I'm glad I liked it.
Your power is higher. It does have a bonus dice, though, so that didn't work.
No, it did not.
And that's a 72. You begin to push yourself out and sort of find the cracks where things have decayed over time and begin to wrestle some control from it. It's drips. It's tiny things. It's turning a light on here or there, or opening and closing a door that was already unlocked. But you're beginning to see that control. And with it, if you wish, you can also sort of move cameras a little bit to track your friends going through. You could try and get a message across now, or you could just begin to continue to follow this along and see why you now have the cracks been found. From here, you can push forward and try and properly wrestle with the thing.
Yep. Basically, it's control room. I would like to save interference for when they're at the control room trying to do whatever they want to do, and I want to be able to jump in there with the element of surprise, so not being noticed. And help at that point.
Yeah, hell yeah. I would say at this point you are still unnoticed. This is all just automatic, and its attention, you very much get the impression of its attention being directed elsewhere. Okay. With Minnie spreading herself wide, the rest of you charge forward towards the temple through which the chanting is beginning to get louder and louder. You can hear the hissing just rolling across at that Narcal language that only Minnie really understands. Well, a few of you have bits and pieces, and all of you can hear the rising of yik that forms the heart of the speech. There are thrums of energy coming from the area, and Sam, that cold wash of something running over you is now becoming permanent, and you're almost scared to try and extend your mind out through the crown. It's a bit like running across a, war-torn field with a big target on your head. You can feel this is open. It's kind of a two-way channel, and you very much drawing attention to yourself, and it's as if something is following you as you move through this area, and then eventually find a large set of stairs that lead down towards a temple. Now, you've come into the center of the Citadel, and it opens up a bit. You can see this huge arch with stairs descending down, and on the far side, huge stone-slabbed doors with carvings of snakes writhing all about it. And they are partially opened, and inside you can see waves of these serpent persons, long inhabitants of the Citadel, all just sort of low down, hands raised and swaying back and forth as a thronging mass of them fills the interior of the space, and you can't see past them yet. Others are also coming. As you reach here, they are sort of like all sliding along the ground, refusing to use their arms as they push themselves across it and in towards the center and the temple at its heart.
Good. Well,
Good. Good.
Not
do we
good.
have-
That's quite the opposite, actually. But okay.
do we have any form of ingress that allows us to avoid any of these pathways that they're following?
It seems this is the main entrance. This is the way in. This one all they have taken. Now, if this is similar to like a church or something back home, there might be a side one for a priest or someone to enter through, but you'd have to find it, and that would be time.
The other thing is we just hope that if we bum rushed it, they might genuinely be so enraptured they're not hostile, or
They haven't been hostile so far. The ones that slid along the ground as you're now here are just kind of ignoring you and going straight down.
Oh, very good. Right. I don't think we want to rush through these individuals as much as we want to try and disturb them as little as possible.
To do what? Find a control panel to do what exactly?
We're
Get into the
going into
center,
the.
turn
We're
this
going
thing.
in. We're going where the attention is, where the focus
gotcha.
is, and when we find out what's in there, we make decisions from there.
Good.
Sam, you're
just-
right. You've gone a little pale.
Yeah, no, it'll be good. It'll be good. We've got something's on the way. By the way,
From where?
elsewhere. One of the big ones knows we're here on the way, but I'm sure we'll find out more as we go along.
Is it coming from below or above?
Oh, elsewhere, above apparently. Getting a vision of a man doing this and then doing that.
Good. What
you
I'm
can interpret that.
ascertaining is that all of this isn't waking up the beastie in the volcano. It's drawing.
Oh no,
something else in.
somewhere else. Yeah. There's
Based on
there's less
everything that they're yelling, probably Yig.
Yeah, I reckon so. Yeah. It's a party, and everyone's invited.
Into the
Well-
center, plant the Hasparang device, kill any of the senior serpent person leadership that we encounter, get out. Turn stuff off if we can before we get out, pick up Minnie on the way if we can. That's
What else can we do?
Get to the center, find out what it is that they're doing. Because I'm not sure destruction is the only option here.
well,
It is absolutely the option we take if none other present itself. But if we can have this thing phase out of existence, go somewhere else that no one can find it, I don't necessarily think we need to destroy everyone and everything inside this to make it go away. And if there's one thing I've learnt, it's that sometimes shooting things to make them go away is not always the most helpful option. That being said, I'm not against planting the device as a backup, but let's see if we can't find a slightly less loud way of doing this. I'd like to draw as little attention as possible. We've managed to do so far, and sometimes subterfuge and secrecy gets better results, because then no one knows what's happened.
let's do it. Let's go for it. Let's.
Also, Miss Sinclair's in the systems, I assume, somewhere, and I'd rather not explode this whole place until we've gotten her out.
Fuck or not.
See what happens.
I assume all of this is being said as everyone sort of tightens bootlaces, checks clipped, slides them inside, he gets ready to go and kick the fuck out of whatever as needed, or, gain intelligence, whichever comes first.
It's just like back at the start of the adventure when we were going through that temple pit filled with
Oh
snakes
yeah,
in
with all
Bolivia.
the snakes. Yeah.
Same
And there's going to be
principle
some big lad
applies.
that tries to eat us.
There almost certainly will be.
Probably.
I mean, I suspect it's going to be Yig. And if it is, will I get to be the chosen of Yig? So, no biggie there. Everybody seems to like me.
What's the
Well-
worst can happen?
Yeah.
Oh, you know, death, end of the universe.
Gets a lot worse than
Existence
that,
that we
yeah.
know it. You know, the standard.
That was rhetorical, but glad we know the stakes now. Thanks, Ares.
Sorry, I seem to be a little more literal.
That's all
I
right.
used to be.
That's all right.
Okay. And with
Let's
that,
get to it.
the three of you begin to descend the stairs. You push down towards the massive temple doors and squeeze inside. Immediately, you are surrounded by the thronging mass of these swaying serpentine creatures, so that you cannot see what the spotlight at the center of what is functioning like a large auditorium or sort of gladiator-style pit is shining on. They're all rising and not even in unison, chanting and humming and calling out the name of their god, but it's not sort of led in unison. It's disparate and filtered, so that it just turns into sort of like, say, mindless wash of noise that thruds over it. But Sam, you're almost aware of something beginning to circle the space as it brushes past you and then sort of pushes in amongst it all. You begin to wind your way through, and Hubert, you'll be the first person to notice what's at the center, as your towering size gives you a vantage point of the area. Like I said, large auditorium, so there's like rings of seats all around the outside. There's these huge statues at the highest level that sort of like coil and twist, not dissimilar to Minnie's skin now, as they form different shapes, all serpentine in general, and don't seem to be depicting any events, but more just sort of the act of motion, writhing, coiling, then twisting to squeeze until it breaks. At the center, there is a massive jade altar or jade-like substance depicting a huge artistic presentation of a snake. It's sort of odd proportions and bubbles up, stumpy in some areas and then long in the rest, as it rises around and coils around a central platform which has a light from atop shining down onto it. There you see two figures. The first is the serpentine form of Joshua Meadham, who is in the center of it all, has his hands raised up, and is clearly leading the chanting. He has completely shed all pretense at humanity, with the exception of the cane that you know carries a sword inside it, but he is still leaving in that cane shape as he's holding it up and chanting towards the ceiling. Next to him, strapped to something similar to like one of those emergency stretchers that folks might use to ferry you into a helicopter or similar, is the serpentine form of Tyrannish. She's got those huge frills all around the side, but having sustained a near lethal amount of damage from the four of you earlier, she was already far too injured to fight Meadham when he came, and now she finds herself at his mercy again, like she was for some weeks or months down in the basement at Cataseus. She's been strapped to this thing, completely held so that she can't move, and you'll also notice that a blade has been taken from her rib cage down to her navel, opened it up wide, and blood that spills out from it is coated along the sides, and it looks as though some sort of pearl or egg or something has been seated neatly atop all of it, and occasionally Meadham will lean down towards it and sort of run his fingers across it as well, leaving a stain of sort of dark black blood across the surface. He seems entirely enraptured and unfocused on anyone around you. He does not notice your arrival rather. Tyrannish is also still alive, but on the very brink of death, as she is kept in that sort of very held on by a thread, and her power seems to be being used by the other person. As he chants, you can continue to hear him say, speaking in Narkal but catching the odd word or phrase, as he calls to Yig, brings him forth, and clearly makes some sort of offering. Can I get all three of you to make Narkal rolls if you have any points, and even if you don't base, and see if you get anything. And Minnie, actually, you can have slid along as you find towards the control room. Go ahead and give us a Narkal roll as well.
Yeah.
Dave, while we're
mean,
rolling, did I?
I don't have any, so I'm going to assume I don't.
You just
roll.
heard the word
Nice.
Yig a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow, they're big on this. Jim?
Can I make a Mythos roll?
Yeah, fuck yeah. Yeah, hell yeah.
I was going to say, did I get his cane or part of his cane when we fought on the roof?
Oh, yeah, didn't you chuck it off? You chucked it off the edge, I think, actually.
Because I remember, yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah,
All
good
right,
call. If he didn't have it, then in that case...
Yeah,
He brought his B cane. It's nowhere near as nice.
Yeah, I just so I can have a zinger against him. And then
No, in that
finally...
case, no, I think if you're... Yeah, sorry, I'd forgotten that. In that case, he's dicked. He doesn't have shit. He probably is carrying an impromptu, like, secondary, very functional military knife, and he's not too stoked about it.
Hell yeah. Also, in terms of folks around him, just quickly, of the sermon about, in terms of snakes that are, you know, his disciples versus these kind of potentially less hostile ones,
None.
are there numbers that we can get at all?
It
or
is just him. And all of these creatures thronging around him. All right. I'm looking at a string of failures. So unfortunately, you can't get much more than just Yig, but it's clear he's drawing it in. And as I go to ask each of you what you want to do, I will tell you that Sam, that presence you felt is beginning to focus in on Medium, and you can see him beginning to change as well. He actually, it's an illusion at first, and then you realize as he's stretching up towards the light above, he is beginning to grow in size and transform. All right, what would everyone like to do? We're not really in initiative just yet, as he hasn't done anything, but we'll just do it sort of round by round. And Minnie, you're very much included in this. We'll see whatever you want to do inside the mainframe.
We have some idea about what this ritual is and how it's being done. We should try to stop it.
I reckon let's get him in conversation. Let's distract him. Let's move. I'd like to walk forward and start talking to him. The two of you can join me or get in position. And when I reach him, I'm going to start whacking.
I'll do what I'm told.
no.
Even to
Mr.
break
Smith.
through the waves of people will require a strength or size roll to shoulder, and it's a hard one to get
Right,
much close
okay,
because they are
yeah. No, I'm sure
of
Hugh
them.
can handle that.
But absolutely, yeah.
I will say, Mr. Smith, if you're going up and talking to him, do remember, we are rather fond of spiking eggs.
Yep, it's a good idea. All right, well...
I am... Ares... I don't really know at this point.
You can follow in my wake, or you can try and maybe climb around if there's a... Just take aim. Set
Currently,
the
you
device.
can barely see him over the thronging masses of people. You would have to either get to a vantage point or push through them all into the center of the room. Otherwise, it's going to be hard to.
Are there
use
vantage
gun.
points around?
There's those horrible writhing columns. You could climb up one of
Writhing
those.
columns?
Yeah, like artistic pieces on the edge. You could try and clamber up one of those.
Oh, they're not actually writhing. They're just...
Oh no, they're for sure writhing. They're moving. It sucks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
climb up that and it'll be.
Sam, do you want to set the device now? This is probably the point.
It's now the
Sam
time.
wasn't the
device
one
setting
setting
done?
it.
Who said
It
it?
requires an intelligence roll. And
Huge
What are you
dunk on
trying to
Sam.
say?
no, what I'm saying is that we establish it requires an intelligence roll, and Ares is the one who has the device. And
It's
has
true,
had
it's
for this
true.
entire time. So
It's true.
I think we're setting the device.
Honestly, I'm happy to stay at the back and get ready with my medical bag.
I
Well, I
would
was
like
just- yeah.
I would like to find the... Where is there somewhere that looks like a best place to plant a device to take as much of this place down as possible?
Anywhere in this room, it's same result. This thing encompasses miles. This room is meters wide. You'll clear the whole fucking
I
thing.
genuinely think
does this-
I need you in a fight against...
Genuinely, the only downside to doing it in here is that this room is kind of sealed off from the rest of it. You've gone down a tunnel and into the center. You really don't know the stability
Yeah,
of
I
the
don't
area.
think this is-
We're messing with. You're kind of Jaeger. Fighting
I will
bosses
follow
against one another.
in. I will follow in Mr. Smith's wake. I will have the device with me again, still like in a whatever bag, however we're carrying it to be. Like it's just. I'm not trying to draw attention to it because it's the thing that I'm carrying.
And we're in a room full of
But
people who will know what it is.
Assuming I pull it out, yes. At the moment, it's like in a backpack or something like that. But no, I'm not going to set it at this point.
You said these columns are writhing, Dave.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
moving.
Yeah,
They're attached to the facility.
correct.
Can I get them to move? Can I make them move?
Hell yeah, dude. What do you want to do?
Can I clear a path for can I just like the masses
Oh, yeah.
of
So-
snake people, can I just be like whomp?
The columns, it's less the floor. They're like statue, like pillars around the outside that are doing it. You maybe shift a couple people along, but you don't think it'd clear a path, unfortunately. What you could
Okay.
do it is to try and transfer information. You could try and get it to writhe into words. The easiest words you could form would be a narcal, which uses serpentine script.
Yeah.
The English alphabet is less suited to it.
little harder.
But you could try and
Are there
do that.
defenses in this room?
Yeah, you begin
Like, does this
to
room have like
you begin to sort of
yeah?
widen yourself out around it, and
I want to get to know this room.
you can feel defenses. Make an I think spot hidden roll, honestly, as you try and just run through this and get a sense for what you're feeling, because you do feel defenses, but they're underneath it. The access to the control panel you are aware of is over by the statue. It's underneath. And in that, as you sort of slide your mind in and under and look out around it, you can see that's where Medium's people are. There's like 4 or 5 serpent persons in the room underneath the control panel trying to get that up and online. And that room has a load of lasers and things inside it, but the temple itself does not have defenses inside it. But that's all right
Can
underneath.
I start taking out Medium's people? I want to start
Yeah.
taking out Medium's people down there.
Okay, so you're gonna get in there and start to trying to fire lasers at them.
Either fire lasers at them or just like zap them when they touch things. Like, oh, I'm gonna try and fix it. Yeah,
Well-
I would like to just start taking out Medium's people.
Okay, so
Just
you
start
could
messing with them.
You could also try and lock the door up above so they can't join. As soon as you start doing that, you are going to be.
I want my people to get down there though.
The entity, the intelligence that controls the facility will very much become aware of you when you start doing things like
That's
that.
cool because the facility does not want them doing this.
The facility don't. The facility really don't.
So
Okay, so Minnie, you're going to
sure,
send
it
your
can be
mind
aware
down
of me
there
trying to get rid of Medium's people.
and start blasting out towards them. We'll park you as you begin to descend and find your way in. It's as if you have just turned yourself into just, strings that widen out and begin to click into each laser at a time. And then when you're ready, you can begin to fire. Hubert's trying to forge a path
Love
and
it.
Carter following along in the wake. Dr. Sam, are you going to follow along in the same way?
Yep. Follow along, stay at the back, do what I'm told, get ready with some bandages.
Okay. Hubert, can you go ahead and give me either a hard size or hard strength
Get
test?
ready.
Perfect. I before we start, I grab the sleeves of my robes and I tear them off, so I've got a whole sleeveless thing going. I whip out my little baton that I've been using from the jungle, start storming forward, and as soon as I'm within audio kind of ranged, I think I will yell in the most intimidating voice I can, which I'm not particularly used to, Sullivan, and try and get his attention.
Fuck yes, dude.
Here we go.
I will, while this is happening, I want to turn to Sam and be like, I don't know whether any of your dogs are nearby, but maybe you could whistle.
Ooh, that's a good question. Good question. Do I sense any large reptiles that
Yeah.
I may be able to take control of?
There is a
Of which I may be
huge
able to
and
take control of?
dominating presence that exists just beyond your conscious at the moment. Do you want to expand your mind and try and look for dogs?
Ooh.
With a shot? What's the...
Just a little peek, just
All
like
right.
a stealthy look.
Okay.
Just like a stealthy look. I think
You're
that's
at
an
the back,
advantage
right?
we need at
Yeah.
this point. Yeah.
Yeah. All
Yep,
right.
yep.
Don't roll just yet. We're gonna... So, Hubert, go ahead and give us the hard strength or size roll.
I'm gonna
Oh,
have
I forgot
to.
you were literally above 100. Big boy.
Yep. And still, I'm going to have to burn a hell of a lot of luck to get through. But this is the time to do it. So to get down to 54,
You don't.
that's...
Oh no, your bonus on Constitution.
Bonus is
don't you?
Constitution, unfortunately.
Do you want to push
Yeah.
it?
Here's the thing. You can call out and get attention, but you have not made your way down towards the center yet. You can yell, though.
I want to be moving. I'm going to give you 29 points of luck.
Can I? Is there any way that myself, like, I could assist with this or not?
Yeah, what would you try to do? He's
Just-
the icebreaker.
I mean, I'm not as strong as I am dexterous, so more as he like shoves people, getting like elbows in to sort of move people aside and assist like shifting. Alternatively, I can just use strength to try and like push
Honestly,
them.
well, here's the thing. Realistically, all of you need to do strength rolls to get through this. Hubert's size is allowing him to kind of take over all of it and bring you through. So I think you can't really assist as you're already reliant on him doing it. So Hubert, you could push this alternatively and try and break out into a charge. The risk being falling over and beginning to be actually like swarmed over by these things. Again, not necessarily hostile, but just holding you down.
That would ruin my one cool line, and also that luck spend will bring me to exactly 69 luck. So,
hell yeah.
let's do
All right,
it.
well, that seems well
Nice.
worth it then. Okay. You spend the luck and just begin to carve yourself forward, gathering up some and throwing them across to the side. As you approach towards the center, you would easily be spotted as just a single figure pushing through the mass. Ares all but invisible behind you, and Sam just behind again. We'll see what happens with Sam in a second. As you charge towards the front, and what do you call out?
I yell out Sullivan and then point my baton towards him. Does he give any sign of hearing me, of looking, of anything?
Absolutely. As you call out towards him, his eyes raised up for a moment, and you can see him begin to sort of like tremble underneath all of it, drops down and begins to focus in on you. It takes a while for the sort of eyes to connect with you, but as it does, you'll see a smile begin to break open across his face as he calls out in his reptilian voice, Mr. Smith, joined at the end, as I always thought you might be. Look at what you've helped us do, Mr. Smith. We've risen the old Citadel, found Mu, and the technologies here, greater than even I had imagined. There'll be no quiet subjugation. No, I'll wrestle control of dead gods. I'll bring this place to its knees, and I'll return to Earth to control it all.
Question.
Fuck yeah, that's so cool.
Have we gotten close enough for me to be in point blank range?
No, you are being forced past by, and there is crowds around him. You are currently basically just been behind Smith. You could do like a cool, basically leapfrog his ass to get to the top and then like dive forward. But point blank's gonna be almost impossible to throw here because there's the throngs of everything. However, as he gets bigger, that problem might solve itself. All right. As this happens, you begin to hear something underneath as laser fire erupts from the room below. As Minnie, from your perspective, the 5 figures interfacing on the computers are all trying to attack away, and then suddenly you just begin to rain fire down on top of them. Given you are inside the Citadel, given
So
the
anyway, I
computers,
started blasting.
you can open a laser attack at, it's going to start at 25, because it is low to begin with, but it will get higher, and you have 2 attacks per round.
Oh, nice.
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 For the people inside there. Dr. Sam, can you give me a power roll with a bonus dice?
I thought you'd never ask.
Oh, God.
Make it good.
I think it better be.
Oh, my
Well,
God.
now.
I think you're fine.
Well, now.
buddy.
I would like to see any and all large reptiles in the area, and I would not like to see. I would not like you to see me doing it.
Okay.
If you have to roll against an Elder
Which you
God, the
do.
stats are going to be pretty bad.
Wait, what? I got to roll against it? Oh, I
Yours
didn't
is
know
straight.
that.
That is an extreme.
It is an extreme.
And it's going to be a straight roll for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but an Elder God probably has a bit more power. Oh,
Well done.
That's not so bad.
As you begin to branch out towards it, you do feel
That's a
the
scary
alien
name,
presence of Yig
Oh my
itself,
God.
often weakened and less powerful on Earth, where it is distant from it, but here in its element, its strength, and being called towards it. As soon as you open your mind, it turns towards you, and you're aware of this huge entity gazing inside, and it's seeking an avatar. It's being called
What?
here to grant great power, and now already Meadham has begun to grow. He's done the rituals. He's given Tyrannish, whose great magic has been turned to blood and drawn across the altar. He has its attention, and he will be made great and powerful. But
Guess who's wearing the crown?
Yig's not married to that idea, and Yig could be persuaded otherwise.
I mean, I'm not gonna say Sam shouldn't do that. I'm also saying Yig has already blessed someone, and someone is already a snake.
Could throw it towards.
It's true.
Your
A
power's not
serpent
fantastic.
person is more of Yig's brood, and they would definitely be more tempted
The
to
only-
grant that power. However, if you guys start
Getting him out
splitting
again
your
might be a problem.
targets, and also genuinely, Meatum has a huge head start here. He's got tons of people chanting to bring it in. He's done the ritual. He knows Yig. He is where you have been granted power, Carter. Yes, Meatum or Sullivan has been devoted to Yig his entire life and has given blood spilt, rent enemies asunder, dedicated his entire pursuit to, embodying the goals.
We
of Yig.
also need you to shoot, Carter, I think.
Yeah.
That's fair. I mean, if anything, slowing it down from its choice will buy us time.
That would be Sam's
Even
instinct.
just
would
slowing
be
it
like,
down.
just like not saying, hey, pick me instead, just like, hey, a couple of options, might need to slow down, think about this situation down here is a little bit more complicated than perhaps you were led to believe.
Yeah, hell yeah, dude.
Let us please hold. We'll our next available cultist will be with you. Thank you for waiting. Your
call's
elder,
important.
your elder
Chosen,
god
and
blessing is important to us.
So who are you? What are you directing its attention? It's this thing has been brought here to find an avatar. That is its goal. That is what it's doing.
guess-
Why not?
I'm just here to
Tyrannish?
say,
Oh.
well, yeah.
Tyrannish is
Tyrannish-
weak and bound. Also, Yig isn't
That's the point.
stupid. Like it's
Oh,
it's
okay.
here.
No,
It's not just a mindless. Like it's here. It's an intelligence. It's a vaster intelligence than some of you can comprehend.
Wait,
I
hold on.
guess what I'm trying to give the impression of is
Why
there's
would
a
it
whole
take-
bunch.
Why would it take the form of an individual when it could have the power of the Citadel for itself? It could just be the Citadel.
Citadel.
Citadel might be
not
blocking
want
it
the power.
if it is waking up and not allowing stuff.
No, that's fair, but the Citadel has power. Does Yig not want that?
I can imagine this sort of like
Yig is
to
also
break
here to
through the void,
bestow
you need
basically Yig is coming here to, because it has been called here in a great power
Right.
ritual. This is always ever, the actual creature itself, or the god, will exist elsewhere and continue its goals in, the different
Oh, I see. So it's here to
realities and
like
things.
bestow a blessing essentially, and then fuck off.
Pretty big one though, as this is much more its domain.
So what I'm trying to give the impression of is, hey, there's a lot of players on the field right now. We're having a bit of a tete-a-tete. Probably the most powerful one is going to be standing. So maybe you just want to hold back and see who wins this little dick measuring contest we're having down here, and then you'll get the most powerful avatar in the room.
Okay. I can
just
see the
hold off a
case.
second.
I can see the case.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Once again, Meatum has the head on it and has already voted and is functionally its chosen one for the time being. But you might be able to get it to slow down the process a little bit and then leave it with
I'm
some
just
other
saying,
options.
Hey, I got the crown. You remember your old friend Carter over here has just arrived on the scene as well. Like, there's a
Lot of
lot
good
going
options.
on. Maybe you want to hang back and see how the situation develops for a
This
little
is
bit.
basically the part in a wedding where they go, if you haven't, now is the chance to speak.
Yeah.
If this union should be disrupted, and Sam comes up and goes, "There's a lot of attractive
If
options in
anyone-
the
if
audience.
any
Why don't you marry
person's
one of
here
these
present-
people?"
If any
Wait.
persons here present know of a reason why these two people should not be joined in holy matrimony, speak now or forever hold your peace.
Sam goes,
Yeah, we're gonna have a fight to the death, and you can marry whoever's still alive. What do you think? Could be fun. Could be fun.
It could be fun. It could be very fun. All right, go ahead and make
Persuade?
make an extreme persuade check.
Wait, extreme persuade? Really?
Yep.
You can
Yep,
see
you
the
are- you're
logic
right.
here, though, right?
I can absolutely see, but this thing is setting its goals, and the
You got a
ritual is
little
in
luck
its
to
way.
burn. Let's do it.
All right, let's see what happens.
And you can try this on
we
your
go.
other turns.
Oh,
no bonus dice.
At the
wait,
moment-
try it again
This
next
is
turn.
right. At the moment, it's you brush your consciousness against it and recoil against it. I mean, actually, you got the extreme. You brush your consciousness and you're able to sort of exist out here, beginning to feed your tendrils along. But it sort of like swings towards you, does not make much. It is not persuaded. You are doing this all psychically as well, and continues in on its pursuit towards things.
Doesn't really listen, really. not much of a listener.
Gods don't get
is the impression I
told
get.
things. It does things.
Yeah.
Although
Okay.
it's
No,
being
that's all right. That's a good idea. I'm gonna keep trying that each turn. But in the so if I'm doing that, I probably can't also like check for any large dinosaurs that I can
That's
control
kind of
nearby.
you're kind of leaving it out there.
Look,
You
that's a
would-
good thing.
You did get an extreme on the first one. You will sense them, but they are quite a ways away because they are used to defend the facility from the outside, not the in. So you could begin to try and call for some to start coming this way. Just remember, you have an upper limit of how much power you can spread out with this thing. So, yeah.
What was that? I didn't.
I'd focus on the god.
I think that's what I'm
The
going to do.
what?
And if I have a chance to whisper, then I'm doing that. Hey, I'm just gonna see if I can slow you down a bit. Might not work, but worth a shot, I reckon.
Well, in
yeah.
the meantime, Mr. Smith, let's get closer.
All right.
I need a clear line at either Medium, Tyrannish, or that egg.
I'm still charging, and I'll be yelling a response when I have a moment, continuing to kind of whack my hand with my cudgel.
Hell yeah, dude. That rolls hard. Okay. So the
I'm
two of
going to
you-
try and get as far. Haven't really taken an action in this space yet, and I think
It's
I'd like to
you're
sort of
following
prepare.
along with you, but yeah.
Yeah, I want to prepare so that I can, using my dexterity, the fact that I look like a snake person, that I'm a little bit stealthy. When we get close enough, I would like to allow Medium's attention to remain on Hubert, and I would like to try and peel away
Yeah.
to get up onto the thing and get a good vantage point when we get like closer and out of the crowd. I want to try and, divest myself of some of the accoutrements I have that make me stand out and fully try serpent personing.
Fuck yeah. I love that.
You know.
All right. Go ahead and give me a stealth roll, please.
All right.
Oh, that's how it's
yes.
done.
Vanish. You are a serpent person in a
Amazing.
crowd of serpent people. Needle in a haystack. You begin to. And here's the thing. As you separate from Hubert, though, the mass is around you and moving
That's
forward.
what I was saying. I
does-
wanted to hold until we
I
got
got you.
a
Yeah, you can
little
do it the last
closer,
bit.
and then
Done.
if that allows me to stay hidden behind Hubert until we get closer and then peel away, that's what I'm aiming for. I'm happy to make another stealth roll as I get closer,
I
but
think you
that's
got
just
it.
like
I think you got it.
Yeah.
I think what this is you're visible behind Hubert. He has no idea that you're there. You can also kind of use that to drag Sam along in your wake. And then once you get close, on the lowest level, you look up at the altar. You can peel away, be amongst those certain persons at lowest, get your gun out and shoot his ass. And then once you start shooting, you'll probably figure it out. But that'll work. Okay. From here on out, we're going to do it in dexterity order. Please and thank you. If everyone wants to roll a dexterity test. And I'm going to ask you to just go ahead and ignore the roll I do for Maiden, but this is the current direction of things, and he might change. Put you down there, big
That would be a
boy.
test.
Okay. Minnie is on an extreme. How did everyone else? Is that a wall of failures?
no hard
Oh, no,
success.
you got a hard. Okay. Very good, very good. Carter on hard. Sam and Hubert have both failed, and I'll roll for. Actually, they're gonna go last because they don't know what's happening yet. Minnie, you're first. You're in the lowest room. You can start blasting. There's 5 of these things.
would
Do you
like
want
to
to
start
just
blasting.
focus on one of them, or just like a?
No, I just get rid of them. I just wanna none of these
Kill
guys.
the hell of
Thanks.
them. Yeah, all right. Go ahead and make
Yeah.
make 2 attacks.
Do they have
What
to?
am I using to attack?
You have laser skill at opening at 25, and this will increase as you use it, as you begin to get feel the system, and also if you can get the thing to grant you
Do
full
these
access.
do these count as like firearms, and would they have to like
Laser.
stop, drop, and roll to avoid getting hit?
Oh yeah, they're not dodging shit. Actually, and Minnie, go ahead and take your bonus dice from basically your stealth attack feature, because I don't
hell
think they
yeah.
know shit about this.
But yeah.
And does that mean that Minnie
And
gets to
attack
make
twice.
2
Roll
attacks?
4 of these. Hell yeah,
Yeah.
get their
Oh,
ass.
so
These
cool.
things
Yeah.
do a D10 damage, by the way. The old laser.
Where'd you go? Just adding a laser.
Zip zap.
Boop.
And Carter, you're gonna be next.
Laser.
If you need a second to add it, Minnie, shall I? Oh, nope, we're good.
Boop.
Nice.
But I've got a bonus.
Oh.
Okay, another first one. You can get a few attacks there.
Got 3 more.
Second
That's
attack.
one.
Boom.
Pew.
That's
So,
that's
that
pretty
can-
good.
The same.
That's the
Yeah,
same.
that's the same.
Still confirmed it.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah, that's
So
one.
one hit.
That
Yeah,
one's possibly
lockable.
lockable if you want it. Oh, and that's a
Hey.
success. That's 2
Oh,
hits.
13.
Hits
You have one more attack, I think.
Yeah.
with bonus.
Okay.
So
2
2
hits,
hits.
so go ahead and roll 2d10.
Phew. pew, pew,
Oh,
lasers.
nice.
Oh, and one of them that's leaning out over the console, beginning to plug away through it. You can see them looking at those slate-like computers. They're all fanning out and trying to get control of it, regularly being blocked by the AI, which has basically come online and telling them to dick off. And in the center of the room, there's like the ability for it to project a hologram out of it, which you could try and take control of later as well. It's pretty cool. As they're going along, suddenly from outside, two of the lasers, and then just a hail of fire begins to sound out across it, just eradicating. One of them is immediately dead, 4 still standing, and nicely done, Minnie. As far as like moving, you could redirect your consciousness now, but as soon as you fire, you do feel the presence of the computer system pick you up.
That's cool. I think I'm just gonna keep making this an easy place for my. Although if we're doing a ritual above, is there any? There were no defenses above, were there?
No defenses in that room, unfortunately. Although you could try and, yeah, there's no guns in there at least. Just like the writhing pieces. Let me figure out.
Yeah, I'm gonna make this room accessible, defendable.
Hell yeah.
Anyone who's not my friends who comes down here get lasered.
Oh, and I'm also gonna kill your madness effect because I think you're now fully aware of what you're doing and it's cool.
This is fun.
And I'm happy with it.
I want to know how many, like, and I want to know what they are. How many, like, indie one-page RPGs on each year are there where you play as, like, a facility, like GLaDOS, like the role-playing
hell
game?
yeah, or HAL or
Basically.
whatever.
Someone looking at that and give me some recommendations.
Mother. the way, yeah. Okay, immediately get distracted. I start talking about that. Yep, Carter.
Was that going to be about Mothership?
Yeah, I have a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I am. Yeah, same. I'm assuming we haven't gotten any closer because Mr. Smith hasn't had his turn yet.
No, but you are within. You can shoot. You're amongst the lower things of it. You are just not up and like engaged with him.
Right. I am going to essentially. I want to get closer before I engage.
Okay.
So I would like to essentially take a turn to like move slowly into a better position and aim.
Gotcha.
That's
It's approaching is an action. You won't be able to aim as well. You won't get the bonus.
Okay.
You could get you put closer
You could just
to point
aim
blank.
though. You could just say I'm not going to get within because the next there is not like the point blank immediately just kind of comes melee. Like there is a thronging crowd, then a dude on an altar. The outside of the crowd is next to him, so you can just get amongst the crowd and just aim to take off the penalty dice from that.
The penalty dice from being in a crowd?
Yeah,
Okay. Would that
it's
apply
right.
to?
They're going ooh, and slamming into you.
Yeah.
and shit.
Okay. Sure. I will aim because I want to let Mr. Smith get a little closer and to draw Medium's attention. Can I see the egg from where I am?
Yeah.
I'm going to aim towards the altar. We'll find out what I shoot when we get
Gross.
there.
Okay. Sam, are you staying with? Sorry, are you keeping Sam with you or with Hubert as he's kind of distracted? I guess actually, you know, that's Sam's decision. You can decide for yourself. You're a
that's
grown
awesome.
you're a grown doctor. Speaking of which, Sam, can I get you to make a sanity roll as we kick things off? As you have brushed the presence of
that's
something terrible.
All good. I know what I'm doing.
I am going to give you.
On a
Roll.
success, take 1d20 failure because it's a goddamn elder god.
We're not quite
right?
on that scale because it's only the eyes of the elder god, but we're in the same direction. Take a point.
1 point.
Yeah, 1
That's
point.
fine.
Just a tickle.
Tickle.
Things are relatively comprehensible as far as gods go. It's yourself and Mr. Smith. Divided as you will.
Well, yeah. If Hubert's heading into melee, I'm inclined to like hide behind Mum's skirt. In that, let Ares protect me from
so
danger while I'm doing other stuff.
Okay. And do you want to repeat your case?
Oh yes, yeah, 100%. Yeah. Try again.
Okay.
Let's see.
As this goes on, you're beginning to through this psychic communion. You're it's no longer like an argument. Now you're beginning to realize you need to overpower it. So now it's just like yelling it, screaming it through the thing, trying to get this thing's attention turned towards you. Go ahead and make another persuasion roll.
Persuasion. All right. Hey. Perhaps you didn't hear me the first time, but I've got a pretty good case here you might want to hear.
Oi.
Again, not a fumble. Again, not lockable.
As it
Well, I say not lockable. I could spend
for an
all my
extreme,
luck.
it would be what
Extreme? I thought you said hard.
No, I said extreme. I definitely said
Extreme, it was
extreme.
extreme.
You said extreme? I thought
Yeah,
you said
man.
hard.
I thought you said regular, actually.
It was
Me too.
actually, you get a bonus and it's even.
I thought you said failure. I thought you said like it was an automatic kind of.
If you succeed,
Never
it'd be
mind.
weird. It'd be confused.
Unless it's
no.
a fumble, it's basically guaranteed.
All right. Okay. Well, yep. Nope. Well, yeah. In that case, I won't push it. I'll just
flood
try again
down.
next turn until I get luckable.
And it's like trying to scream at a massive python as it slides past your boat and begins to devour someone on the other side. You are aware of this thing beginning to flood over, and Hubert, you will act next, but it begins to like coil inside Meadham, and you'll all hear ripping as his muscle
God.
fibers break open, as sort of like things bulge forth, his arms drop lower, his torso begins to twist around, his head spikes upwards, and his transformation continues. Hubert, you're going to act first,
We
though.
gotta stop this.
Look, I got to get to him as quickly as
Gotta
possible,
stop
and I got to
this.
say everything I can to try and distract him. I'll keep shoving through the crowd, and I'll yell, "You got it backwards, Sully! You flew us around the world, trained us to kill snakes, and told us all your secrets. We brought a Hastarang device into the heart of Mu. Welcome to the future of the human race. Look what you helped us achieve."
Whoa!
That's pretty sick,
Didn't know-
dude.
I didn't know we had it in him.
Go ahead
Also,
and
we
make.
can probably hear the lasers firing.
Yeah, from underneath. Make it, I think, intimidation, Mr. Smith, and definitely take a bonus.
Fantastic. I'm not naturally intimidating, but I think that
but-
this is also not necessarily naturally Hubert, so let's go with it. Bonk, and bonus dice for bonk. Not fair. Look, I'll tell you what. I
35 points?
I might like it to a success, just to see if I can stall him around longer, because I need to get close.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
25
so
points.
I'll give you
25.
25.
25 points.
Five.
We did it.
Teamwork.
You're able to close the distance, and with the previous success, Hubert, you just sort of like push through these last ones as you get right up towards him and call out. As you mentioned the Haftarang device, you'll be pleased to know you have his undivided attention. As it swings around, his head punches forward a good, 8 inches as his neck extends and then drops down towards you. You can see rising frills on the back, and a huge sack of something is beginning to grow out of his chest as he looks down towards you and says, "You would destroy this place. There are things here you can't comprehend. This is why you have no chance, human. Opportunity is present, and you will not seize it. Only destroy." He's going to try and attack you, but as that succeeded, I'm going to give him a penalty dice because of the transformation he's beginning to think, and you can riposte.
Oh, hell yeah. All right, let's do this. Let's
As
see if I
suddenly
can...
his arm swings out towards you, and it carves. You see talons emerge, and it rakes through 3 of his own people, just dismembering them, and carves towards you.
Look, if I remember this correctly, he has a hell of a brawl skill, but we're going for it. It's now or never. I will attempt to riposte. Yeah, let's go.
Does the size difference come into play when you're brawling?
No, not only for fighting maneuvers, and he is
Maneuvers.
big now as he's beginning to be transformed. So
Eck.
Okay, here we go. Riposting with my walking star. You're kidding.
Oh
dude.
my.
Not a fumble.
not a fumble.
Really?
It's a oh, I thought 99 was a fumble.
No, not if you're high enough.
100.
Ah.
And melee weapons. It can be a malfunction on a lot of guns, but that's the beauty of the melee weapon.
Okay, Hubert, this is probably gonna hit.
Here we go. Oh,
Oh, that's a
perfect.
fuck. He's got a penalty.
Let's see how he goes with the penalty.
Okay,
68.
it is not an
68.
extreme, but it
Think
is a
right?
success.
It's
That
not hard
is.
either.
17 damage without extreme.
Yes, thank you. That's there. I was about to roll. 17 damage as carving through his own people, just raining each one killed as it moves. It slides towards you. And Hubert, what does it look like when you sustain that much damage? You can reduce it by. Oh, actually, yeah, you've got your.
I don't think.
right?
I think I was out the armor because I'm in the robes and stuff. Yeah. I mean, unless these are I took the sleeves off. We're here. Let's
Hell
go.
yeah.
You do have the like ability to immediately spend 20 points of luck to heal 6, but 1d6, sorry. But I don't know if that's necessary.
Better to keep above 30 to not die.
Not here, not here. I think I need to be very resourceful with my luck. I think that Hubert barrels up, he swings in, and Hubert's using his size here, so it's just kind of like the bear tackle. He yells out in pain, but there's just so much momentum there that he's not really responding to the injury. Going as just berserk, keep hitting as I can,
yeah,
but it's probably like a great gash down the open sleeve of the arm. Blood starts pouring down as Hubert's trying desperately to swing out with the cudgel.
That rules. Okay. Fantastic. Sullivan or Meadham slices across you and like grabs into your back, and then his whole body begins to move over the thing. He has gotten longer, like the Loigor, like his torso is now, 6 feet alone, his arms extended as he slides across it. And while he's slicing at Hubert, the mention of the Haftarang device has his head on a swivel, and this long snake neck begins to swing around, but Ares with an extreme no sight of you. And we're going to extend that to Sam as well, who's been pulled down and underneath the crowd and meeting a chance, and he can't hear, except he does probably pick up the of lasers from underneath as Minnie begins to just rain hell on the other people.
Did we pick that up as well?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you hear guns firing. Before we go to the top, Minnie, you have basically made yourself aware to this AI, and you're in and amongst it. You suddenly feel something come up alongside you among the controls, these tendrils, and in the center of the room where the hologram is, it sort of flickers and takes a shape of what looks to be a serpent's head moving around, but sort of, like cubic or like trapezoidal or whatever in that, it's a computer version of it. As it begins to swing around inside it. And you will hear in your mind, or in this thing's mind, really, who are you? What do you want? Why are you here?
I'm going to send back just kind of an image and impression of snake people getting blasted.
Make a charm roll for me. I take a bonus dice because you did blast some snake people.
Charm the computer.
Only Minnie.
You
Lost that to an
genuinely,
extreme.
you
Come on.
see the
I mean, you get a
avatar.
bonus dice
Get
and
this.
to see if you roll a 0.
Oh yeah, take the bonus. Yeah, hell yeah.
Oh,
And
still fine.
I'll take my hard. I'll take my hard.
You see the avatar break into a wide grin. You feel the presence fall backwards a little bit, and then as the people, the final 4, are like whirling around from their computers, Minnie, you are given full control of the lasers. Increase that skill to 50, and as the computer
yeah.
falls away, it also just begins to rain hell on these things as well. So it's going to make 2 quick attacks at the end of the round. Pew, pew. Both succeed, although not a ton, but 11 collected is enough to eliminate another one of them as these things just rain down on the inside. 2 of them deceased, 3 still standing. We go back to the top with Minnie. It's you.
Pew!
I know, sorry, just straight rolls at this point because you know.
Oh no, I'm not getting the bonuses because I'm not surprising anymore.
That's right,
Yeah,
they're
that's
aware
cool.
of you.
That's cool. It was
I'm gonna go ahead
exactly
and
the
make
same.
that's a success and make a second. Okay, 1. So go ahead and roll a d10 for me.
Oh, that was good.
Okay. 2 damage dealt to one of them as the you and the computer begin to fire down, and we go up to Carter. At the start of each person's turn now, as you begin to see the avatar distend and rise to its full power, sanity rolls. Yay! Carter, can you please roll the first one? Behold. Oh, so close to a fumble. This sucks. That is going to be though. Did I put it in here? Yeah, I did. 1d3. As you witness the... Oh, come on. As you witness the presence of Yig rising in the avatar of Sullivan.
Yig.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yig gave me, I have interacted with Yig. This is not... If anything, I'm like, sup, pal? How you doing?
It's my boy.
It's not
am I
what
doing
you
this as
do.
well?
That's what
by
we're
the
talking
way?
about. Yeah, fuck it. Let's rein him in.
Am I seeing him? All right.
Yep.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay. Sam, it's gonna be a D3. Jim, it's a D10.
Oh.
I'm still indefinitely insane. How does
Yeah.
this work there?
You're immediately going into another battle.
Oh, I was wondering if I still lose the same
Only if you're in a
D10.
bout of madness.
Which you're about to be.
8. Which I am. I'm mad.
Okay. Permanent?
Good.
Or...
Sorry?
Oh, you're so
I was
close
in,
to
I was in,
permanence.
No, I was indefinite last
Yes, yes,
time.
yes. I was
so
saying if that was the full choice.
Yeah.
Okay, Hubert, you're gonna go straight
There he
into
goes.
let's just go for murderous rage. We all happy with that?
Feels appropriate.
It does. Get his ass. He called you. He
Okay.
called you and your entire species stupid. What the fuck? Get his ass.
Hey.
Yeah.
Sam, you're okay, right?
I'm fine.
good?
And thank you for asking.
No worries, man.
Yeah, I got another
good to check in.
5 points to go till I'm indefinite, so yeah, feeling fine.
All right, let's rock and roll. Let's get his ass. Carter, you're kicking us off.
We've seen a similar ritual to this before.
Yeah. Actually, have you? There was the one in the desert. Is that what you're referring to?
Yeah, which had an
assuming we
egg
have.
in a stomach and all that kind of stuff.
Had a lovely egg.
Yeah, as a first step, I'd like to shoot the egg and make it explode, please.
It's messed up.
Excellent first step.
I'd like to try and take the focus of what I assume this ritual is, because it seems to be the thing that allows Yig to come forth to people and grant them boons. I'd like to take that avenue away. I'd like to plug the stream.
Okay. Do you have
If that's possible.
Cthulhu Mythos or Occult?
Yes, I've got 12 in Cthulhu Mythos.
Give me a quick Cthulhu Mythos roll.
Sure.
Just squeeze one in. While we've got time.
Oh, come on.
Luckable.
I was
14.
luckable.
Yeah.
Feels useful here.
What was I on? No, I think 14 was the amount that I added at the beginning of this session.
Back to
Nice.
base.
I am back to, I will
Okay.
give you 14 to get the information on that one.
Okay. Here's you go. The egg is not the only portion of it. Yig has already been drawn forth. That was part of it. It's getting the attention and turning him to the Citadel so that he can be embraced, etc., etc., etc. However, destroying it still may wane its interest in Sulathan in particular. Now, Sulathan's already partially transformed, but there's stages he can still go through. This might aid Sam in his appeal to the horrible lizard god.
Is there any chance of getting rid of, because part of this ritual is also being fueled by the power and the blood of,
Tyrannish.
what's her face?
Tyrannish.
Tyrannish. If she was gone, if she was out, would her blood no longer hold power and therefore also reduce?
Her sacrifice is part of what is fueling the ritual. It'd throw a wrench in it. It wouldn't necessarily be good, but it'd basically be the final ebb. Tyrannish would, basically the death knell would roam through the psychic waves and things.
Just want to add that probably what will also disrupt the selection process of Meacham is if he has a bunch of lead in him and he's dead.
Also true. A lot of good points being made.
That
true.
might help, yeah.
Put it this way. I have 3 shots. I don't think the egg is difficult to hit, and I doubt it has a lot of hit points. So I'm assuming I can do that one in one pew.
Yes.
It
If
is an
you
egg.
connect, it will go.
Right.
So, for your thing, here's the thing. You
yeah.
are stealthed. So that's giving you a bonus dice. However, that's not going to apply to the ones firing on the egg or Tyrannish because being hidden from them isn't really throwing them off. They're tied down or inanimate objects. It will apply to old mate, Avatar of Yig, Sulathan. So
I did also
you are,
aim.
Yes, so you have a bonus dice from that. You are in the throng, so that's a penalty dice. You would be close enough to those two for bonus dice. You're up to 1 positive. The egg is fairly small, though, in a weird angle. So it's going to be a straight roll for the egg, 1 bonus dice for Tyrannish, and if you just shoot Sulathan, you have... Fuck, he's huge as well at this point. You have, 2 or 3 bonus dice
4
or something
bonus die.
for Sulathan.
Shoot the shit out of Sulathan. Kill this man. He's gonna get me.
All right. Sulathan it is. I don't
Excellent
particularly
choice.
want to get his attention.
You're gonna...
Because
you shoot someone, you get their attention if they don't die.
Yeah, that's fair.
Universal language.
Yeah.
You don't need to speak Narcol when you can speak bullet.
Language of gun.
No, that's not gonna. I
Oh
really.
shit, they're
Because I still have a tranquilizer pistol, and the desire to try and trank this guy is very high.
This is
I
when the
don't-
non-lethal
desire to
comes out.
kill
The
him?
desire to just murder him?
Yeah, no, I'm gonna shoot him with my bullets, but it would be very funny to be like, you know what, you don't get to. Yig can come into your system. Your system's just gonna be off.
And now you sleep.
Yeah, no. All right, let's go. First shot. Two bonus dice.
Two
is
bonus
that right?
dice, I think what we got up to, yeah.
Good.
That's all right. That's a 26,
That's a success.
which is a hard success. I could give you 10 points and
Oh, sorry, 10,
make it
yeah.
an extreme, which would give me
We know
an
you can afford
extra 10. Huh?
it. We know you can afford
That's
it.
a
You're
fair
a
chunk of
luck
damage.
hoarder.
Yeah, I'll give you 10 points of luck to make that an extreme, which takes it up to a 19 damage.
Hell
Holy
yeah.
shit.
Nice.
Second
I really
attack.
didn't think I
Next
could live
campaign,
another
no one's had
round,
a
so
guns.
I
This
appreciate the.
Well, that's
That's another
another
ex-
extreme, so that's 16 points of damage.
Heck,
Ah! Holy crap.
Last shot.
Get him.
Get his ass.
Right.
ooh.
Dave,
Oh,
you might want to
perfect.
look at your screen, darling.
Oh, you son of a... I don't even need the
I will
book.
say, because of the way that it does the math, it adds the +1 twice. That should be 20 points of damage, not 21.
Oh, right.
I rolled one. Yeah, it says 1d10 +1 and then 1d10. It's 1d10 +1 and then 1d10 +1. So that should be. I rolled a 10 and a 9 +1. So
I gotta say, Dave, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think a lot of the times when we run into these pulp stat blocks, the hit points don't always reflect the crazy pulp talents,
Yeah,
the combat
just-
pulp talents
Just
that we
kind
have.
of get him with a gun,
is,
you know?
This is Ares. Ares was here
this
for this.
is. You know how Minnie was built for computers? Ares is built for murder.
Moida.
All we, and
Moida.
all we needed was to just delay long enough to get that shot.
All right. Math time.
So that would be 55 points of damage.
Fucking hell. Oh,
Is he dead?
Hang on. No, genuinely. 55. What? The first attack was... So that...
19
55.
plus 6.
He has 4 points of armor, so each run reduced by 4. Brings it to...
4, 8, 12. So 55 minus 12 is
43.
3.
He's got 40 health. And I
Also,
would definitely
just-
ruled that the crit would ignore the armor. So...
also, if he's any magic shielding, he did have to cast the ritual. So
He was drained. He was completely tapped. So, as you just and also completely from stealth, so he wasn't even had a chance to like riposte and give you a bit of a slice. As you rain hell down on him, one of them catches the poison sac, like the venom, and just begins to spray across the crowd like the worst. One of those splash rides, and people just begin to like recoil away from it. Carter, I hand the floor to you. This fucker's dead.
Yeah, out of 10.
Oh. I for the sake of like narrative, Carter takes like a shot from the crowd, still hidden. Medium has no idea where it came from, but like head whips around to try and find where the shot comes from. Carter steps forward, full serpent, shoots him again, and is like, I don't know if he tries to like hiss something vile in the direction of, you know, you puny humans or whatever.
Yeah.
As he like opens his mouth to hiss, Carter will just take aim at the roof of his mouth and go straight through his brain and go, I think it's fair to say that the board has alleviated you of your leadership position at Caduceus, Mr. Meadham.
Nice.
We'll be taking it from here.
Don't know what hurts him more, the bullets or him being relieved of his company.
this is a hostile takeover.
The last
Hey,
bullet.
that's a good one. That's a
Oh,
better
fuck,
one. This,
that
yeah.
does roll.
And I would I'd like to like essentially have gotten my way in like beginning to get up on the altar.
Yeah. You begin to clamber forward, and as the bullet final one punches through the roof, the sort of shell at the top of his mouth, through the brain and out the other side. It doesn't even emerge because as he was getting stronger, the armor was building around it, and so it just traps it on the interior and ricochets around the interior of his skull. But he does perish, and as soon as he goes, the presence of Yig begins to swirl around the room, seeking. It was already been drawn here, and it did not have the opportunity to complete what it was done. His blood spills across the altar, and the people in the rows that were coated in acid begin to writhe in pain. And then, as they can feel something here, looking for them, they draw off portions of their body and hold it aloft. Take me. We're not ending initiative yet.
I suspect.
I think we need to send the gentleman home. We need to tell
Dr. Sam,
him
it's your
that
turn.
services are no longer required.
Can I jump in before Dr. Sam quickly? Because I think
Please
Dr. Sam feels like pivotal, and I might just be.
Yes, I agree.
Oh, okay, all right. No, you're precious.
Jim's still
You're
mad.
still in red mist.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I figure.
Smash everything.
I had a whole thing about how I was going to suboptimally attack because my best was to do dodges because of his skill, but now he's dead. I think that Hubert's eyes flick around and he says, "You're right, Celathan. We're very good at destroying." I would like to grab that egg and bludgeon Tyranish to
Spike
death
the
with
egg.
it.
Huh?
Yeah.
Yes. Hell yes.
We love to spike the
Tyranish
egg.
was still alive?
Barely.
All right. Not for much longer.
You pull the egg out of the gaping torso, raise it aloft, and for a moment, maybe, her eyes glimmer just enough to pull across to see you, as the last thing she sees will be Mistress Smith beating her to death with presumably one of her own species brew. Go ahead and make a fighting brawl roll just for the sake of it. You have 11 bonus dice. You can have at least one.
For the sake of it, bonk, extreme success.
James.
On the first one.
Oh my.
You just cave her head in. As it connects, this was not just a normal egg, and it is very heavy. It fully breaks her face in, and then as you raise to it again, it's on the second smash that the egg begins to splinter, and Tyranish is fully dead. Pale, transparent liquid begins to leak out from it. Her own blood spills across the altar, and the room is in chaos. Sam, you will have a bonus dice on this persuasion roll because they disrupted the ritual and they've given you an opportunity to try and get in there. However, this is now a god drawn here and angry.
That's what I was thinking. An Elder God wouldn't come all this way for an avatar.
It's getting an avatar.
And then go, oh well, and turn around and go back home, right?
Yeah, and it had only begun to give over a fraction of the power. No, it's here. It's here. It has seen people come to retake its lost citadel, to rise Mu again to greatness, to send the serpent persons off throughout the land. It's getting one. Here's the thing. All these other people here, you killed Tyranish, who was genuinely possibly the second best choice. Now we're looking more at Carter genuinely, or you. The other serpent persons here are search base creatures. Now they could never lead, even with its direction. Or it's the other serpent people down in the base, or it was the idea of give it a computer, which it would need to be explained. It's like an old man god. It doesn't understand this newfangled shit.
It doesn't know what a computer is.
It wouldn't understand that the computer is smart.
Truly, I'm just hoping that if you turn its direction to the computer and the computer's like, hey, I don't like Serpent. I want to stay in control of this. They will end up just having an argument about who's in control of the Citadel, and that will just be the argument forever as a super powerful AI against a super powerful Elder God.
The full Elder God, yeah.
And one of them's gonna win
Elder God will trump that eventually. Yeah, that would be you buy yourself some time to do things.
I would get into the same conclusion. I think that's.
Buy ourselves some time and blow this place up
in a hard drive.
Okay.
If we can put the Elder God on a USB stick and just unplug him.
I think we're gonna rescale this a little bit. So, because previously you were saying that's not a good choice, have a different one. Now it's the options you present. If you offer up the computer, I'd say it's probably the hardest pitch.
Yeah.
Because
I think so too.
the hardest. Or Minnie or Hubert are pretty tough. It doesn't want that.
Or go away.
Or go away. No,
go away is the hardest pitch, surely.
Go away is probably not happening. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
So that's probably the hardest one. Honestly, yourself or Carter are the most
Yeah, I
appealing.
know.
But you saw what it began to do. This is a permanent transformation, and genuinely, it's less. They're probably not going to be in there anymore. Like or they're
No,
far
yeah,
beneath
yeah.
it. You are becoming an avatar of a often quite hostile god. It's probably like and we've imprisoned it in you, and you live here now. It's cool, but it's a little cooked.
It's hard, but I think we go for the computer because I'm here with it.
Yeah.
I'm talking to it.
But it is easier.
And if we can convince the computer that this is the thing that has fucked everything up for it.
The other
So Doc-
option, is that one of us, offers ourselves up, pulls the pin on the Haftarang device, gives it a cuddle, and then hopes they can hold it back long enough for the others to get clear,
Sick.
and then yeet themselves and Yig into oblivion.
Also, to add a little bit, just some final clarification on the computer. It doesn't necessarily hate certain persons. It just wants to retain control. It gaining the power of
Yeah.
an avatar might just let it do that.
But this thing, if this thing gets into an avatar, it's going to continue what it was doing, which was trying to get control of this facility. So it's in the computer's best interest for this thing to not get an avatar.
Yes, if it gives another avatar, but if it gets its own avatar, it will probably start immediately just eradicate the remaining certain person, and then possibly turn its attention to you, your party, and continue to serve its best interest.
Possibly.
There's options. They'll be dice rolled.
There's options. What would Sam do? As I look at my wristband. Yeah. Okay. So the best odds of success is giving it
Yourself or
or
Carter.
Carter.
And yourself is
think-
because of the crown.
I hate that.
I think Sam knows that Ares would say, "Yeah, go ahead." Ares wants to make the sacrifice play.
I mean,
I
I
think
don't.
Sam's.
Got the crown.
I don't
I think-
want to, but I will if
But
necessary.
you would if asked.
If it was a
But-
choice between
not gonna
Ares
last.
or Sam, Sam's the one that can do the most good in the world.
I don't think Sam is brave enough to make that decision for Ares, nor is he brave enough to make that decision for himself. I think even though it's the worst option, I think he's going to try to send it toward the AI.
Hell yes, dude.
Even though it's the
And-
suboptimal choice, I
yeah,
think he's
love
too dang sentimental.
I love it. All right,
If we
go ahead,
can
mate.
put it
And I
in a
will-
position.
can I help? Like, can I be on the AI, and basically
Ready to
pointing out
receive.
this elder god thing and being like, this is the fucking thing. This is the thing. This is the thing that is trying to take.
Yeah.
Trying to encourage
I
people to
dig
take
it.
control
I
of this
dig it.
facility. This is the thing that wants control of the facility. You need to trap it. You need to contain it. This needs to be contained. This is
Okay,
the problem.
I dig it.
I'm going to
So-
identify that as the virus.
Yeah, Sam's plugging in the dodgy USB drive he found on the street, and you're accepting it
Yeah.
and opening the contents. All right,
Yeah,
Sam.
pretty much.
You will do this with a second bonus dice then. It's still
Second
extreme
bonus
though.
die?
Still
You're being
extreme.
too kind.
still being
Oh no,
extreme.
Dave, this is your undoing. You've given me too many bonus
It's an
dice.
extreme, though.
Yeah, let's
Alright.
hope we've got a lot of luck, because this is the time to use
No, he
it.
has hate.
I do.
Watch this.
Persuade. Regular success, the 34.
Oh,
Or a 14. Well, now it's 2 points off an extreme. I didn't even need it, but I will give you 2 points of luck.
okay.
If you insist.
What do you say to the?
I will
Malign
say, hey, bro, look at this. That was the thing that called you here. The fellow's now, torn to shreds. The other thing that called you here, the fact also torn to shreds before you even got here. Look,
A bit shit.
I'm a doctor, mate. I know that flesh doesn't really last very long. It's weak. It spoils. It rots. Blood just runs away. Maybe the future is wires and metal. Hey, and hey, look, state of the art artificial intelligence running this facility here. Do you wanna give that a go? Hey. I mean, I don't think any other elder gods have got any mechanical avatars. Might be the first. Cutting edge, groundbreaking. I don't know. See what you reckon.
Hell yeah. As you call out to it and assert your will against it, there is
nothing about what I said was asserting will. It was just going. Hey,
and that opens the
think about
dial
it
because you
this
got the
way.
extreme at the beginning, which kind of let this whole flow, and it's able to, even on the basis thing, it's able to treat you as something to at least listen to, and
That's
it
all I
turns its
ask for.
attention under, and still this sort of invisible, intangible mass, this monstrous eye, turns underneath and swarms into the computer.
I'm out.
The entirety of the Citadel begins to shake as it takes over, and this thing is given ungodly power. It immediately breaks free of any safeguards that were put in place, and this thing that was created to store millennia of knowledge and protect the serpent persons that existed within it will immediately seek to repel all intruders and ascend itself and basically the slaves that roam its facility to a higher plane of existence. This is going to be a very dangerous thing, and I would suggest you leave immediately. Minnie,
We're out. We're out.
you
Yeah, as soon
feel
as
a
I
bit fucked because this thing is pointed in
Yeah,
towards you.
yeah, might be.
And the thing which you had a temporary truce with just begins flattening all other programming. It gets rid of all safeties. It gets rid of
Oh, yeah.
everything that isn't
I'm
it,
out.
and you count in that. So it just begins to repel
I'm fleeing back
it
to the
all.
body. Yeah, I'm fleeing back to my body.
I am going to get you to make.
How?
Yeah, powered 90.
I think it is still
Gonna be
power.
power.
I think this is kind of where you're set up. And I'm going to give you
No bonus dice
no
because
bonus
Dave,
dice.
Can I make a
Definitely no
pitch or
bonus dice.
something?
I actually don't think I can justify a penalty dice. You've had a chance to be in there and think. I think
No.
it's just that it's going to have a better shot at getting.
It's just
your
me
ass.
getting out.
Jim, did you want to say something?
This might not be an angle, but I was just thinking you could potentially use the idea that if Atos managed to successfully assimilate with the
he's gone.
device, you might be able to fly under the radar as related to Atos and therefore related to self for long enough to be able to get a tunnel out.
That's cool. Yeah, I really like that. Disguise yourself as Serpent because a lot of its information is from stored minds and memories. You pass you're basically trying to be like, I'm a serpent, and you just start running down the other way.
Stealth power.
All right, go ahead and make a power roll. Straight roll. I'm opposing you with a bonus dice.
Oh,
You want to
no,
lock that?
You what?
You want to lock that too
can
because
get that too.
Dave is.
27
if you're an
points.
No, but like, how many points is it?
27.
I don't think I have it.
Ugh.
Any?
Okay.
Oh, the alternative is if this thing tries to yeet you out, you burn your luck and be like, I live.
Yeah,
Somehow magically
exactly.
Yes.
I'm below that. I'm below that threshold. So
Yeah,
I've only
you
got
burn
20,
it
23
last
luck.
time, pretty
That's
much.
what
The
I mean.
second.
And you did your luck improvement this session?
Can you get to
Yeah.
the extreme?
How much is it?
It's 27.
It's a lot. It's
27. I'm 23.
27.
Nah. Nope. It is what it is.
okay.
Yeah.
You begin
I
to
could be-
flee,
And it's got
as
140 power.
as you race, you see this thing throwing up walls around you. It's isolating programs all throughout it with lightning speed, closing things down, and
Look.
you're sort of like spiraling
Yep.
through tunnels and trying to find any exit point. I'm gonna roll. I've got a bonus dice.
That's Yep. Ah.
Dang.
Yeah, I've already lost
Unless
this
yours is mechanically a
Is my-
dodge, in which case uneven.
That's true.
It's a
Dodging.
contested one.
one. It's a contested, and that's a higher power.
Dang.
Without the
What can
luck
you do?
to spend as well. As you go chasing forward, you find yourself cornered, Minnie, locked inside like a view screen on something and unable to leave. And as this thing turns around and basically moves to quell you, you kind of have one last chance, because if you can persuade this to let you join it, to become a part of its great mind, give over your knowledge and swim in this endless library, you have a lot of information. Now, it's a lot of information on Earth and how it currently exists. And it doesn't
Yeah.
know those things because it's been out of sync for quite a while. But it's a chance.
This is Minnie
Look at the
choosing
stars.
between
You could also burn your last moment to try and, initiate phase out sequence and see if you can kick this thing to the other dimension.
Now, let's get this. This feels like dangerous. I don't want to give it more information on Earth. I want to see if I can see what I can burn on my way down, on my way out.
Okay.
Is it any...
I want to see what I can take with me.
Okay.
Is it anything
I
that
want to
we
start
from the
pulling circuits.
outside can do to
We're just
interface and get
running.
Minnie onto like a
Unfortunately,
USB key?
You barely
guys
know Minnie's
gotta go,
in
man.
there. You barely knew about the AI, to be
Yeah.
honest. I
We
only
didn't
realized
know for
after we'd
sure.
kind of done it. Like,
Yeah.
there was never any conversation. You just don't know. The fact that you kind of sent it in there because I guess you get the impression Minnie
Although,
was wrestling with
actually,
something.
you sent him
We
on a
do-
view screen, right?
Yeah.
You sent
We
him
do
on a view
know
screen.
that Minnie is in...
Can I with the view screen, the information that I've learned from the AI, can I start playing, like,
It's
can
gotta
I
have
put
like
it
a-
on the view screen?
It's got to have like a dot matrix printer somewhere, right?
Absolutely.
If I'm trapped
Yes.
here, can I try and... I want to display,
Print.
transmit the information
That's cool.
to my crew as they're leaving.
Yes, 100%. Its attention
And
turns
I
to
just
you.
want to pour the rest of my consciousness into getting this information in a physical form and out about what's
Godspeed,
the
Miss
stuff
Sinclair.
I've collected about what's on Earth, what the dangers are. Yeah.
Okay.
But at the top, you've got like one line for like a personal message
Or a
of
signature
some
at the
kind,
end.
telling us
No, it's
telling us
just
anything.
information. You're gonna know who it's from.
Yeah.
I'm not wasting any time. I'm getting as much information out as possible.
Hell yeah.
I think I'll just end up with like a little like heart, like the little
lesson,
End it with...
lesson
if you end
three.
it...
a little less than three. Just a
and
little
an-
less than three.
And an 07.
Heart.
Just a less than three. No, just a
No?
less than three.
Hell yeah.
Okay. This thing follows Minnie, stalking her through its own minds for a while, and it doesn't want to kill you immediately. It wants your knowledge, so it will do it until it realizes it has no chance, and it will destroy you, unmake your brain, and try and filter through the pieces that are left. But that gives you this window to transmit information, and as the rest of you down on the ground begin to turn and look to escape, these throngs of people still waving will need to get past, but up on the higher sections, you can see all of the columned pedestals beginning to writhe as Minnie's message begins to transmit along them, forming strange shapes as she tries to give you as much information as she can in the short period of time that she has left. For the three of you, though, escape is not a given. These throngs around you still need to be breached through. They are terrified and swarming, and Mr. Smith.
I'm going to roll my d10
Yeah.
and see where we're at.
Let's
because
see where we're
I didn't
at,
actually
because
roll
it's been
it.
about 3 rounds.
Well,
Oh,
As
Nice.
this happens, as you clobber Tyrannish to death, you begin to come back to yourself with enough sense to know to run. All right, it is the three of you. First thing you need to get past these people: strength, size, intimidation. Let me know what they are. You've got it. You are on a time limit to try and get the hell out of here.
dodge. Get through.
I'm sizing. It's my best skill. I'm trying
They're
to
not
smash
really
through.
fighting. You need to just shove them the hell out of the way and move. I think dodge won't do it for me. Or it'd be
Dex.
I can see dex. I think it'd be hard dex if people want to try that.
Dex. That's all I got. Oh, regular strength.
Yeah. It'll be straight down
I
to
got
regular
50
strength or
dex, strength
size
and
at this
50
point.
dex. So yeah.
Because I'm still near Mr. Smith, can I try and, like...
Sure.
Can I-
I'll give a
can I
penalty
jump
to
on Mr.
Miss. I'll
Smith's
give a
back?
penalty to you, Mr. Smith. Actually, you're so big, you've got it. Make it, and honestly, your size is large enough that even on the roll, you can't really fail it. So, Hubert hoists Carter on the top, and begins to charge forward. Actually, I think this one can be overcome with a Hubert. Why don't you just give us a size roll to see the pace you can set. As
We're
you
in it a
board
success.
your way through, scooping up Carter, and then as Sam, give us a dexterity roll to kind of slide your way through. You can be grabbed as well. Shortly after, I think you decided size, but it's the same result.
Do I need luck for that one?
It's just a
We
time
might
thing. This
want
is just
to. We're
a
trying.
pacing.
We need to get out of the
Yep.
bloody place.
21 points of luck. There you go.
Okay.
We're out of here.
Sam's able to skirt his
what-
way through, pushing them back, and then as you breach through it, Hubert chucks Carter down. You all begin to race up the passages.
Actually,
as you're around the corner.
I was wondering if Mr. Smith would be kind enough to continue holding me, because I'd like to start booping some buttons on a giant bomb.
Nice.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Good call.
I I grab Ares by the tail and run.
Carter,
One hand Ares, one hand Minnie's printout.
here's the thing.
Maybe.
This is going to you. It is already a hard intelligence test. This is giving it a penalty dice if you're doing this on the go.
All right, in that case, we'll try and get to wherever. I would
That's
like.
if you're in the heart now. This would be the
can do
point to
it.
do it. Anywhere else,
Get to
you're
the
on
edge
the
of the
edge.
room. Let's just get to the edge of the room, do it there, drop it, and then keep running.
So you're gonna pause for a
What we
moment.
could do is we could run, you could stop, do it, and then try and catch up, you know?
Yep. I'm pretty dexterous and pretty quick, so I will give them a moment to get ahead. I will pause, and when we're out of the throng a little, so ideally I will pause for a moment and try and do this.
All right, we've got enough time to check in on a Minnie, and then you can head straight to the hangar.
Okay.
We know Minnie's gone, I think.
We've got the
Yeah, you
hand.
can see the
I think
message
that the
beginning to
information-
form.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's
I
a
think-
last ditch kind of thing, and you
Or
knew
more
she was in there when
specifically-
the avatar went in. So
There's
Maybe I go Sam, and I hold out the printout clenched in one hand, and there's a I just point at the love heart at the end.
Oh no. All right, straight to the hangar. See you there in a few minutes.
okay. The two of you turn and begin to race, and soon you lose track of Carter in the distance. We're actually going to go to Sam and Smith first as you begin to charge along. Rocks are, like, as the whole thing's sort of twisting a little bit, occasionally rocks fall from it, and then you see that doors are beginning to shut around you. Your original path, you have to skid to a stop as it halts in front of you, and even trying to wrench it open, the doors, like the hydraulics actively resist you, and you turn and charge through another one, now seeking out the damaged passages you avoided earlier, because through raw strength, Hubert can just bust through them, and you know that the automation won't be able to work. Can I get a navigation roll from the two of you to find your way?
Mine's 59. What's yours?
Still 72.
So
go ahead and one
bonus
roll with a
die,
bonus.
I reckon we're both trained in it.
74. Another 2 points of luck.
point?
Yeah, boy.
All right, you scramble around the sides and finding one of the parts. You get to an area where the door is sort of like jammed up against something, and as it wrestles against you, Hubert, can I get you to make a strength roll to just jam it inside and haul it backwards to get it open?
Here we go. Extreme success.
Done, dude. You barely break a sweat as you just
Goodness.
jam hands in, throw them to the side, and begin the final sprint towards the hangar bay. Based on your current strategy, you think you should make it out in time. Flashback to Carter, who pauses for a moment, crouches down, and examines this very complex device. It's written in a language you don't fully understand. As you begin to puzzle over it, remembering how it was interacted with earlier, you cautiously twist one of the dials, and as it locks in, you can begin to feel the go ahead and make a hard intelligence roll.
That's
Locked
what I'm
and
talking
loaded.
about.
You can give it a long delay, and everyone who knows how to disable the half-Terang device is dead.
He's dead.
So you lock it in. What do you want to set it for? It will take you about, genuinely, probably at full sprint, like a 40 minutes or something, to get to the edge of it. And that's if you're confident. Or you could just give it a really long window.
Its timer is instant to 24 hours. Its length of duration is 1 to 10 minutes, and its area is 1 to 10 miles.
That's the power of note-taking, everybody.
So I would like to set this off to the diameter of what I believe the Citadel is.
You would have to go. You just go to the max.
The Citadel is huge. 40 minutes.
It's
to
huge.
get
It's
across
like
it.
a city block. It
Okay.
matter.
So max, the timer I would like to set for what I believe to be the amount of time we require to get to the hangar and get away out of this explosion, which based on that sounds like
An hour.
an hour.
That's not
So
giving
I-
yourself a lot of time, but
I will set it.
If no one
Well,
can
you just say
defuse it-
everyone. Yeah, no one can do. Well,
More time is
the
better.
AI
Well, the only-
might be able to.
and
Yeah.
the avatar, or they might just realize they're probably, again, it's intelligent. They might just aware you've done. So they don't know what it is, but they go, bomb, get that. They'll just chuck it out a window.
The other thing is, Rose is still on the outside trying to breach in.
Yeah.
And this is, in theory, her device that should have arrived and didn't, so she probably knows it's somewhere. She didn't see us fly in, though, so...
No. I would like to set it for the minimum amount of time I think I need to get out.
Okay, an hour.
Set for an hour, and I would like to do my best to hide it.
Okay.
To make it like in a little, ideally maybe like, if I
Inside
believe I've
person.
said it, I'll yeet it under some debris as I run. Like
Sure.
I will get it under something, in the mix of like one of those destroyed corridors so that there's less automation in there to see what I've done. I'd like to have
I dig
like
it.
chosen a good location. Because again, I'm very clever.
Yeah, 100%.
This is
I
my
like
whole
it.
thing.
I like it.
And I will give myself the barest minimum because I'm getting out and I don't want this to potentially be found.
Okay.
So I will give myself an hour.
As you begin to charge off and find a room where you can stow it and lock it inside, you can already realize that yet more corridors have begun to close by the time you leave. And
I'm hoping that I can follow the train of destruction that Hubert has made by yeeting things open.
it is repairing things open as it goes, and some things that were possible previously have now been shut off. We are down to a hard navigation test.
Oh,
Oh
heck.
God. I am really glad though that Minnie didn't stay in Unify, because otherwise the AI would have known how to defuse the what it was. You know.
He's not getting my knowledge.
So,
Oh no.
that is not going to do it in time. You could push this roll. Otherwise, it's just a flat sprint and seeing how much time you burn.
Or 65 points of luck, which you totally have, right?
You have 65.
I have 57 points of luck.
Oh,
Flat sprint.
Okay.
Just
Do you want to go
go
ahead?
do what I can.
Okay. All right. Do you want to go ahead and not pushing the roll?
No, that's going to put me even worse. Like I can't follow the path they took. I'm just going.
Okay. You begin to charge in whichever directions you're at. You will arrive at a random section, skid to a halt, and trying to open the door, realize you can't move to another one. You are just taking whatever entry point you can find. You think you're going vaguely outward, but whether or not you'll end up at the hangar is now just it's up to luck. Chaos as you scramble through a vent or something, drop on the other side, and then continue to sprint. I am going to ask for a strength roll from you as well, as a number of these doors are closed, and you can use those to try and speed up your exit.
This is just like when you're late for a flight and you're trying to find your way through an airport, but it's marginally less
And
stressful.
you're carrying your bags. And your
Yeah,
friends
it's
got
harder
sucked
because
you're
into
stressed. I want to point out as well, these facilities gone to red alert.
Oh,
in the
hell
back.
yeah, dude.
That's
Is there
so
any?
cool.
It's just strength, not dex. To like.
It's strength at this point. It's
Cool.
you are wrestling things open. Dex is kind of factored into your just sheer speed.
Flat strength.
Yep.
Great. Then you may have 8 points of luck.
Okay. That will
get that.
that will progress. It's not opening all of them, but it's allowing you to squeeze through and continue on. Sam.
There's-
Sorry, go ahead.
One thing I thought of retroactively, which I think it's within. We've got 40 minutes of running. I think it's reasonable that I mention it to Sam at some point.
No charging. It's a marathon, not a it's both.
You have some kind of range with the crown. Can you be pinning
Yeah.
harder to try and say we're this way, even
Well,
if
yeah,
possibly enough to like add
Because I am a
bonus die or
snake
something to the
person, so
navigate.
it would hit me.
That is a good idea.
No, it's not. It's specifically not snake people, but reptiles.
It's
So yeah,
reptiles.
I
But
was
used to
thinking
kind of
if
ping before and get a sense
if I can
of
see
things.
the
It's not
if the
control, but
Ligor
we've
is
established that it can like.
It can,
well,
it
if the
can,
Ligor is still
it can-
around, I'm going to call some Ligor and get them to just start like clearing passages between where I think the command center was and where the hangar is.
It's
like,
the problem is it's a big-
Assistance on navigate is probably more useful.
It's
Get like
the
going into, like-
chance of finding the path that Carter takes is pretty slim. Like for sending
But
the,
at the very
the
least,
logo
if-
across. If it's and
then
also
the logo is going to.
I think what Jim's suggesting is you give me a bonus on my navigate. Like I am able to better follow you.
But Sam's call. That's what Hubert suggests.
Have I been muted this whole time? How long have I been
No,
muted
we
for?
heard you.
No,
We heard
you're
you.
good.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah,
how do
it doesn't
I-
let you control
how do I
them,
get
but you can
bonus
kind
scoring?
of ding them. I think we'd need a roll for it. That's definitely improvising the use of it a bit and trying to transmit
Yeah.
information, which is not really its ability. I actually, honestly, I think the Loigor is more, that's within the scope of it. I think also there is kind of still the presence of Yig slightly around. It's all a little up in the air. Also trying to pick out Carter as a serpent person in a city of serpent people is all but impossible.
No, I've controlled nearby. Yeah, no, we're definitely stretching what the crown does at this point. Use the Ligor. I can get 3 of them. So they've got a power of 60, is that right?
Yeah.
3 of them, and yeah, just like start clearing corridors. Maybe like get one of them nearby us, like just tapping repeatedly, like a pattern that Ares would recognize as like, you know, intelligence. So it's near to us, so that they can follow the vibrations, and using the other 2 to like clear corridors between us and.
I mean, there's also just an option
Ares
that if
could
you'd
be.
remembered it, stuck a Ligor near me before we piss bolted. I
The
think that's
Ligor
probably
weren't there.
all.
They're out-
Ligors
they're out
weren't
of the-
near
they're
us,
out
they
of
were
the hut first.
outside.
Got it, yeah.
We got to bring them in
So calling
first.
them in.
So, Sam, you and Hubert arrive at the hangar, and you send some of the Logo out to go and begin to basically clear path, get attention, hopefully do anything that will draw Ares towards it.
Oh heck, we got to pick up Lancet as well. So we do have to stop by Minnie.
Oh yeah, genuinely.
You can just call Lancet, like you have the thing, right? The
I
little
thought,
like
I thought we
Lancet, come here,
landed
buddy.
with the coconut, not Lancet.
Who knows?
She got left with. I
Both.
think she got left with both ultimately. Yeah.
Both. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you can just call Lancet. You've
it's
got
Lancet
Lancet
also
could
on
have
the way
been called.
past
We
as we
can.
run.
We can.
Lancet can probably.
We can do so. We also
Very
there was gonna be a whole thing.
Yeah.
We went there. So
That's
let's
the whole
not do
Talon.
that.
Excellent. I had no idea.
So
And yeah, if I could, if we've got time, we could probably maybe send Lancet to help to try to find
I
Ares.
don't think we do
the
have time.
scale of the
No.
area you're in and the number of twisting corridors is so like you guys get into the hangar. Oh, again, it's not a hangar. It's like the room that they use for engines. Here's
It's
the
what-
good thing:
it's what we're using
that
the hangar.
vent can't close because they use it to draw in all their power, so they cannot stop that exit point. The machine is still, I think, reasonably moderately damaged. I don't think it was completely stuck. So you might want to just begin getting that flight worthy.
I think that's what I'll do, yeah.
Okay.
While the Logor is stomping around doing their thing.
Can you go ahead and make a mechanical repair test for me? And Hubert, you can assist just by being nearby and moving things around, unless there's anything
Actually,
else
that's
you wanna
better.
Sure, I'm pretty terrible, but I do my best. And the one thing I'd like to add quickly is in almost a setup for a pulp conclusion, because it's going to help for all of 15 seconds of extra timing. Can I find a long section of rope, the longest I can, rip out cables or whatever, and start trailing it off the back
Yeah,
so that
hell yeah.
Ares has a chance
This is
if they don't
plan
make
D.
it to
Yeah.
hook.
Yep.
Okay,
Gotta be
awesome.
done.
All right,
I'm
Sam, go
well,
ahead
so I'm
and give us a
getting a-
mechanical repair with a bonus dice. Nice.
hard success. I don't feel good about taking that bonus die. If
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, Jim was doing
Hubert
something
isn't
else. I forgot
chained.
that.
Yeah, I'm getting rope.
Yeah, no, he's
that's
doing
all
something
good,
else.
but a
Okay.
hard success, I'm hoping, is all I need.
All right.
Unless extreme
it
will
is
get
up
me.
and it is flight
will help.
worthy. You've spent about.
Is it scalable?
Nope. It's you already saved it with your psychic powers earlier, so this
Right.
is just getting up. It's never going to be perfect. Well, it will if you spend a lot of time on it, but for the moment it's not. It's up and going, and
That's
time
fine.
passes, and you don't know how long you can wait. Outside, you can see that door that you slid through is now fully shut, sealed, and like not letting you back out the way you came. You pass, and as things go on, you don't know how long you can wait for Carter. Elsewhere, Ares, please make a luck roll. Straight roll.
No.
You get to the edge where
Not a
you
fumble.
think it should be, and you're not in the right spot. But you're near one of the exit points, and you could try and just run and get out the baseway, just one of the doors. There's going to be laser fire out there. There might still be an attack happening. There could be Loigor, but you are not where the others are. And by the time you get to them, the window you've set for yourself will have passed.
Behind enemy lines.
Yeah,
Okay?
it's not the first time I've run through gunfire and hellfire and what have you, so I
Back in
will
the
go
trenches.
to one of the exits and I will do my best to fucking just leg it.
It's not even a pause. You
Leggy.
just take in the information, turn on your heel, and begin to charge, racing the final direction towards the exit. Sam and Hubert, how long are you willing to wait?
We wait as
wait
long
it.
as we can for, like, I mean,
Here's the thing. There's not necessarily going to be a point. You knew they were saying the
No, we
half-terrain
don't know.
device. You hoped they were going to be close behind you. 15 minutes or so pass. In the time
I
you're back,
think-
you don't
I-
know
you
what the
gotta go.
window was.
we knew that the basic parameters of the device.
Yep.
I think it would be entirely sensible that Ares would have set it for the minimum viable, which is our best guess.
Minimum
So
viable
it-
is close to instant, but
yeah, we probably say, okay, Ares would set it for 40 minutes. Let's say it takes them 10 minutes to, set the device,
basically-
and then we dally for 5 minutes going,
basically-
can we really leave? And then
We basically
eventually...
we had some head start time on Ares leaving. We basically spent that head start time fixing the plane. So I don't know if we've got any more
I
time
think
to
you
spare.
are pretty much tapped, as far as you're aware.
Maybe we can do a loop around, see if they found another exit.
Sam, Ares is the best at this. They might have gotten out somewhere else, and in all honesty, I think that they might jump through a portal to get out. At this point,
All bets are off, hey?
military talk, right? They know the LZ. They're not here. The flight's got to go. We do what we can. We get out, keep an eye for them, try and swing past the place where we said that we might swing past Minnie. That's probably the only secondary LZ. And then find one of those tears in reality and crash this plane into it.
All right. Let's get in the air.
Okay.
I'll fly, you be the eyes. Let's go.
And as you both head towards the plane, can I get a group luck roll? So whoever has the lower.
Excuse me?
Oh dear.
I don't
What?
exist anymore, so.
Oh, sorry, of these two, of Sam and Hubert.
Oh,
Yeah.
61?
I'm 44.
All right.
Here we go. Thanks.
There is as you get to the flying machine, there is a roar from elsewhere in the facility, and suddenly fire begins to spew down corridors. The temple is erupted almost instantly, and the computer that was trying to trace and find Minnie throughout it begins to boil into ash as it tears along, finding every corridor and section to pull down. The entire facility begins to crumble, and as you get to the flying machine, the whole thing shakes, and the facility begins to fall backwards as it twists. You both leap for it. Sam gets in, revs the engine, and as you begin to take off, Sam, this is going to be a scaling pilot roll, and you are going to take a penalty dice on this as the entire facility falls. Go ahead and roll. Beginning at hard.
That's time.
Roll of luck.
This is it. Here's the one.
That penalty dice. Okay.
Oh,
At a 99.
Not a fumble.
Not a
No,
fumble.
but
And you
that's
can't
as you
look
begin
it.
as you begin to take off, the plane is skidding backwards, and you fully cannot do this. It is not going. The engines are going. You're trying to use your psychic power to get it. You move over towards the edge of it, but a roar of ash comes up from underneath, and then you realize that underneath all of it, the entity at the heart of the volcano, now disturbed by the recent presence of two intruder gods, has begun to wake. Tendrils lash up towards it, and as you direct the plane down, one of them slams onto the inside of the vent and scrapes along the edge of it. That's not going to do it, but you could push the roll.
You could push the roll.
Kill the engine,
could-
dive
you have
down,
luck? Do you
restart
have
the
luck in?
vent. It's the only
Do you,
chance.
do you have luck to
I've got enough
get
luck
it to
for a regular success, but a
Regular
push
success
might get
is
me a
not
hard or
going to do-
extreme.
a
Oh, it's
regular
not?
will not do it. You will be in the range of that thing, and it will flatten your ass.
Okay, I need a hard success. You said hard, right?
Hard.
Before
99
you do
down to
anything,
39.
before you
Yeah.
push, I'll share a glimpse with you. You can see Hubert is about an inch from. He's very heavy, leaping out and shoving the plane down so you can get clear.
Hubert, I think that's something for you to decide to do.
Yeah, all right.
Can't imagine
well,
he's going to ask you to do it.
All right, well, I mean, I can spend 60 points of luck, which leaves me with 1 point of luck. I got 61
Wait,
points.
can you? And that gets
I
you
got
down.
oh my
Wait,
God.
you could get it?
Yeah, leaving me on
Yeah.
1 luck.
You need to spend 40 to get the hard. Oh, no, sorry, it's 99. Oh my
I'm
god,
on
you need to
99.
spend 60 points.
60 points. I've got 61 points
He's
of
got
luck.
it.
That might
This
be a
is kind of the
sign.
time.
I think that's a sign I
it's a
gotta
sign.
spend it. Because if
It's
I
almost
push it,
perfect.
I
Yeah.
might not get the hard. I think I gotta spend it.
And you guys
Okay.
have Minnie's information. Like, you have to get back.
You have the
Yeah.
knowledge.
our duty.
It was fate. 61 points of luck down to 1 point of
God.
luck.
Oh my
Unless there's
word.
another group luck roll coming up, I think we're gonna get out of here.
Well,
You
you'll get out of the
plunge-
facility.
You plunge into the volcano and towards the waking god. Elsewhere, Carter, you go charging up the side of the thing and heading towards one of the cells. You can see the door is partially open, but just as you're approaching it, it's beginning to close, and then perhaps it's Minnie, perhaps it's luck. Something stalls it just long enough to keep it open, and as the whole facility tilts backwards, flames roar up behind you. Can I get you to make a jump roll as you fire yourself out the other side and towards the volcano?
Oh, nice.
Literally, like, you're as the
Majestic.
thing's moving in between phase, you leap out the other side towards the volcano. There is a roar of flame behind you, and it's not just fire. There's lashing tendrils inside as Cthulhu emerges from its own direction to draw you and everything else back and into it. It singes the hell out of your back. You hit the side of the volcano and begin to tumble down it as the couple of laser shots that lance out towards it miss as the whole thing tumbles backwards and into it. You fall down half the whole thing, rolling and tumbling and rolling and tumbling. And then when you find yourself caught on an edge and looking up, you see the whole thing fall backwards, head down, and then just as it looks as though there's no chance of the others emerging, there's the as Sam's flying machine punches out of the smoke and into the sky, the long improvised cable that Hubert had tied to it dangling underneath, and they begin to swing about. Here's the thing. You're not necessarily out of this yet, and as you flagged, the closest portals that were set out were on the other side of the forest, days away.
Oh god.
Gatanothua, the god in the volcano, is awake now and gonna start killing people. However, there is another closer portal. The one that Minnie scouted, opened by Rose, is still in place, and as Serpent persons drop out of it, more confused now, you could try to scoop Carter on the rope and just drive right past them and up through their exit point.
I think
That's
has
the
to be
best
the play.
chance
I
of
love
success. And I sure hope you're not going to make me maybe roll another piloting roll, but I suspect you are. 'cause that
Absolutely
first one
gonna
was
make
just
you
to get out of the
piloting
volcano.
roll. Yeah, there's a horror thing underneath it. All right.
All right. I think that's our only path.
Okay, you scoop down towards it, and the rope hits the side of you, Carter. You're able to sort of reach out, wrap it around, and as it wrenches you upwards, you're held on by one hand. Whole thing hurts, you take damage. At this point, it doesn't really matter that much. As you begin to skid along it, and with Carter sort of trailing just behind it, Sam, you begin to hone in on the thing before you. You can see Rose underneath it, exhausted, drained, white and sallow, hand held up towards it as certain persons drop down, and that formless thing underneath it tries to rise up towards you, but you just might be fast enough to make it. It is a straight piloting roll, and a regular success should do it.
Oh, thank goodness.
I would like to help with the not having things try and get in the way, because I still got some bullets left, my friend, and I'm gonna fucking take pot shots at if I can hit Rose between the eyes as we go through.
Why wouldn't you?
Let's go for it.
Finish what I started.
Make a roll a bullet check with
Bullet check.
a penalty dice, and
We're
it's
at the
gonna begin it hard because we're on a thing.
We're at the end of the campaign. Dave's run out of words.
I've run
Roll a
out
bullet
of
check.
bullet words and rules.
Rules
All
words.
right. Well, have an extreme.
Oh.
Are you really good? I mean,
Absolutely,
I guess I
I'm
can
gonna
do
give you a
penalty
penalty die.
dice.
You're underneath the plane.
Okay, well that's a 42.
1 point off a hard.
That will
I mean,
do
it doesn't. The hard doesn't matter.
Yeah, it'll
does
connect.
it?
Yeah, it does.
Regular
Okay.
success.
Then I will give you what is that? 2 points. Hang on.
You gonna try to make it extreme? You may need
I mean, that's 26 points of luck, and I got 49 left.
Oh, heck off.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Brings you under the insta-death threshold. Who knows?
does.
There might be something left in the rest of the campaign that Dave's going to kill us with.
Got like one idea left.
If a hard will do it, then what is it?
A
2
hard
points for
connects,
hard?
and then
or-
we roll the hard connects, and we roll the damage.
Well, the damage
Great.
is 6.
Okay.
Just make it hard.
Yeah.
She might already be dead.
Remember, I left her
40.
with not a lot of shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I will give you a
You got
point of
throwing
luck
magic.
to make it a hard. It does 6 damage. I still got 2 more shots.
Okay. So as you close the distance and rain down fire towards her, the first one connects, she plunges off the thing, and as she is hit, the portal above flickers for a moment. She is the one holding that there.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
I was.
You wanna shoot her again?
I knew she was doing that, so what I was trying to do was, as we go through,
Oh, sick.
I want to
Yeah.
put a bullet to close the portal.
That's so cool.
That deeply rolls.
Nice.
Okay, Sam, go ahead and give us that final piloting check. Take us home.
I would also like to be
Jim?
singing as we do this.
What are you singing?
I was desperately trying to Google 1920s flight songs. Oh, there's one. Two Little Men in a Flying Saucer seems to be the best one.
Hell yeah.
I only know the title.
Well, every Google it in your own time. I'm gonna not for the first time make a somewhat pivotal role at the end of the campaign,
and
it doesn't get any more fun anytime
And
you
we
do it. I
got
can tell you
1 point
that.
of luck left.
On success.
Nicely done. If there's one thing you can
point
rely
under.
on beyond turning his friends into abominations, it's piloting a plane. And Sam's able to twist the whole thing around, punch up above Rose as the formless spawn reaches up towards you, and emerge into the portal and then begin to go out the other side. The last one through, following the trailing rope, is Carter, who looks down between their own boots and can take a final shot at Rose. You have a short window to shoot him. Fucking done.
You wanna make-
done. It's over.
Also, can I please a thing?
Yeah.
Just because, if you'll allow it, for flavor's sake, I want to look down as the formless spawn is moving. I want to see a little glimmer of a metal. I want to use that, and I want to see that go. I know my brother is like with me. I can't imagine a better place to have this all be, and then I'm gonna use that as a thing to give me the ability to do 15 points of damage.
That deeply rules.
Beautiful.
You fire it. The portal flickers around you, and the last thing you'll see as it closes behind you is your brother's medal glimmering as she falls into the swamp. The three of you punch out on the other side and emerge in some random ass country somewhere in the goddamn world. There's probably a bunch of Serpent persons there because this was one of Rose's bases and where the Inner Night were set up. So presumably you kicked the hell out of them before you could finally
I am
emerge.
a Serpent person still. I'm gonna be like, you fuck with us. I'm gonna try and essentially intimidate / charm my way through this whole situation because I still look like a serpent.
Yeah, you're able to sort of talk them out. Hubert
Looks
clobbers the
legit.
few that don't, and
I will kill them.
Sam will fly you home. And finally, after months of effort, Caduceus is destroyed, or at least the head of it. Rose is dead.
Circle back to that.
Tyrannish was clobbered to death with an egg. Yig, or at least the avatar that he was trying to form, was pushed into a computer and then blown up. And all the gates leading to Mu are closed with the fall of the Citadel. Of course, if anyone can ever return there is unknown and what they might find, but a slumbering god has woken, and that's rarely a good thing. But all in all, I think we can call that a fairly successful mission. Unfortunately, not all of you returned. Minnie, starting with you, what do the final beats look like? As you probably are more aware of the half-drawing device. As you're sort of getting corralled into corners, you're trying to get these messages out, you're watching your friends leave, you're hoping that they can make it in time. You can see the half-drawing device, you know you only need to buy yourself a little time. You can fight the absorption, you can lead it in circles, you can scream at the horror that's trying to consume you. What does it look like?
I think Minnie waits until through the security camera she can see the plane leave. Ares exiting through another avenue, and as soon as they're gone, the last kind of remaining threads of Minnie's consciousness travel back towards the explosion, and she's basically going to annihilate herself rather than be absorbed.
Fuck yeah. You race the creature until you're right next to the half-drawing device, and as it's closing in around you, the looming presence of Yig, you can see the brass dials click, click, and then you will stare into the heart of a fire god as it rips open to destroy you and everything else here.
Not getting any of my brain.
Not a damn thing. If any of it survives it, it will never know of modern Earth. who next wants to give a short epilogue of what happens in the coming months, years?
Well, as I think Gart was alluding to, Caduceus isn't necessarily destroyed.
Yeah.
The CEO went through a portal, and it was all very hush hush. He wouldn't have told the whole organization and brought everyone along and said everyone was going. There's still most of the organization intact, and don't know that we were working against them for a time. I think we better get back there and see what we can do to build the power vacuum at the highest level, because that's a powerful organization that could do a lot of good. We've got all this information.
Yeah.
They might need a new, head of medical research, perhaps.
Yeah, and I mean also some of the final messages from Minnie alluding to the horrors, the threats that lurk on Earth. This was just one. There kind of needs to be someone to look out for the underdog, someone to take the hard hits and use some of the information
and all that information from Minnie is probably is what's going to get us to take over Caduceus.
Do all three of you return to Caduceus?
I will convince. Go ahead. No, go ahead. Because if you say no, I have a thing to say against it.
I also think there's a reason. Depending on how much of that volcano god you saw, you were fairly on the edge. So I leave it in your hands.
That's exactly what I was about to mention. I finished that last battle with Sullivan on 11 sanity, and I think that the flight out, both literal and figurative, as in fleeing through the Citadel, is sailing through the portal, fighting at the other side once we have to get out. Hubert, I don't think is permanently insane, but is so close to teetering on the edge. His adventuring days are done. I think I'll get a last image of him sort of popping up in Enrique's Big and Tall and saying, actually, I think that, you've probably got a suit ordered that never got picked up for old mate, my size rival, the bodyguard, and we'll pay for it, take it, because it's past the commission point. Look at the horrible brown grey mess.
They're fully cult robes, by the way, too, just in case that's interesting. They're cultist ones, like a suit for cults.
Fair enough. I was thinking I was just grab one of his suits and I was going to put a polka dot flower print on it in bright pink.
Yeah,
nice.
But I think that Hubert ends up as an eccentric in New York, walking a strange, tiny dog around the streets, dressed in increasingly bizarre clothing.
A hamster. You're walking a hamster through the streets.
Exactly.
A feral hamster.
Tiny dog.
Having it attack people. I'll add one last thing and say I was going to do a little bit that maybe just because I love the whole Van der Van mythos in New York, that there's maybe a connection there. But I think if Robo Van der Van has any spies hanging around, they probably see how insane Hubert is and go, probably not worth the time or risk, and leave him to dress in polka dots and enjoy his twilight years.
That's fantastic. And maybe one day there's a threat great enough to try, and at least people will ask you to come out of retirement, but whether you do or not it's up to you and your story to tell. Art or Jackson, would either of you like to go next and just give it from your perspective? We're
the dream team. We're the new heads of Caduceus, right?
Well,
what do we do?
What do you do individually,
there used to
though?
be.
Yeah.
Individually.
We'll go you first up.
Miss Sinclair, Minnie, is not the first person from a regiment that I have lost and had to say goodbye to without having the ability to recover a body. So there will be a small ceremony that is held. The dedication of, I don't have the ability to give you a Victoria Cross, but the one that I gave you should serve in your stead, as being something to show and recognize valor and sacrifice. I think that Ares respects Hubert's decision to step away, but will essentially have a conversation of saying, you have a lot of wealth and a lot of influence. If you're not willing to be part of Caduceus directly, perhaps we could certainly do with an anonymous donor to assist with research and development and building something up again. There's no necessity for you to be involved in the day-to-day running, but if you're willing to help us build something bigger and better and more robust that can stand against these new, the terrors that we are only just coming to truly understand how many there are, we'll actually spend a fair amount of time going and visiting Mr. Smith and having morning tea, which they were never particularly keen on, but we'll keep that line of contact open and friendly. Whether Mr. Smith agrees to the donations or not, I'm not sure.
Absolutely. I wax lyrical about my support, put in a ton of money, and use my business acumen over these two poor new heads to get an enormous and unfair royalty on any Serpent person technology.
Oh, absolutely. There's something to be said for Ares. Ares respects Mr. Smith's decision to recede, but fully is if and when you are ready, if ever, Caduceus and its operations are open to you. You are essentially a member of the board for all intents and purpose. And where once there was a hidden Serpent person at the head of the Caduceus organization, I think again there is a hidden Serpent person at the head of Caduceus organization.
Yep.
Who is, unlike the previous, has no need for a bodyguard because they are truly lethal in their own right, and brings Caduceus into a new level of tactical efficiency that I think has not yet been seen. Definitely relies on Sam's prowess in the R&D and medical department, but I think, yes, if anyone starts to interact with Caduceus going forward, they are going to have to start dealing with one captain, because I did get a promotion, Ares Carter.
Hell yeah. That rules. All right. And then to bring us home, Dr. Sam.
R&D is where he's at. All that medical research, high priority, seeing what he can do to help people. And at the same time, kind of wrestling with what the organization's done in the past. Because on one hand, it's you could go out there and say, hey, that last guy was a dick. Look at all these terrible things he did. Massacred a whole town. Did everyone know about all this? But then also, no, it's probably going to cause more trouble than it's worth. And so Dr. Sam, I think, starts on this slippery slope of finding himself at the head of this with all this power and finding out that to keep this power, you do need to be secretive. And being secretive means you got to do dodgy things sometimes. So I think overall, if we're doing like a long-term kind of epilogue over the years, months turns to years, turns to decades, he'll kind of start a bit of a slide towards being the thing he once hated.
I mean,
unless Ares is around to stop him.
Sam, you can try and slide, but Ares still sees you as the better of the two of us. And while I will have a certain eye to ruthlessness that perhaps you never did, I will always encourage that not in you. It is very much a case of you keep me in line and I keep you in line, and we're both a little slightly too obsessive about Serpent shit, but both of us are
Well, that's great. No, that's fantastic. In that case, there's no, if Sam was on his own in this, the slide would happen. But
and likewise, I think if Ares was on their own, they would fully lean into that real cold Serpent nature. But because Sam's around to be oi, you're still Ares, you're still my friend.
Fantastic.
They remain more human than they would have on their own.
A winning combination.
And
good.
Mr. Smith with his hamster and his delicious morning teas with sauerkraut and kimchi.
And with Minnie's information, you kind of have a list of things forthcoming. You can be preemptive in some cases, or you can do what Sam wanted to do at the beginning and try and seek some people out and speak with them, find if there's level ground to be found. And with the almost bargaining chip of the Serpent person's technology, you have a lot to bring to the table. You have the ability to peel almost impossible wounds. The scope to which you can change the world is quite significant, but you're also aware that the more attention humanity brings to itself, the more under threat it becomes. So it might be
That's
that you
it.
decide to keep this quiet, stay as an aid organization, traveling where you're needed most, and quietly dealing with some of the threats that Miss St. Clair uncovered, either before they can reveal themselves or shortly after. Yeah, whether the new Chaosium slides down the path that the previous took remains to be seen. But that's
knows?
where this story ends, at least, with the fall of the Citadel, the return of Mu to its shapeless existence, and the death of the three major antagonists in the campaign. Nicely done, everyone.
Good effort. There were some mafia goons that I think we just sweep under the rug at some point, but
They
I
actually probably
suspect we
do.
have a nice conversation
they-
with them, being like, "Oh, you had some infiltration stuff. Hello, yes, we'd like to assist."
Yeah, that was most of the inner night, and also through them you will realize some of the really cooked shit that Chaosium was doing. It'll also help you to weed out some of the other people, because the heart of Chaosium still had people that worshipped Yig at the highest levels. There, it was not just the ones that you killed. There's others, and through that kind of thread, you'll be able to find some of the people that were involved, oust them, and slowly clean up this dang organization.
I'm not sure that we oust them, because that suggests that we take them out of the organization, we put them elsewhere. I think we
enemies close. Friends close,
Look.
enemies closer.
Nazi
I
scientists.
think there's definitely a point where, like, we don't make too much of a ruckus, and then people just, let's call it creative downsizing.
Yeah.
Some people are let go
If this
from
isn't
a
the
great height.
slide towards evil, I'm excited to find out what that could be.
Not if it's only Serpent people.
And it's
We are trying to clear the ranks.
Okay. And it's a compassionate kick out of a plane. You make sure their family gets the
We
kind of-
just make sure that those people who are a problem are no longer able to have access, and if that is something we can do without hurting them, great. But if not, then they are perhaps, you know what I actually think it is? I think it's where we go to the mob and we say, well, there's a lot of people that are trying to fuck with your organization. Here's a discreet list.
Joey.
Do with this information as you will.
Bananas.
I would also like to start getting back in contact with the mega detective that I had as a potential backup,
Oh, yeah.
and
Yes.
sending an increasingly ridiculous set of random waste of time investigations, dotted with the occasional one where I send them after something Mythos related, not out of maliciousness, out of Hubert is insane and I think it's funny.
Yeah, because it is.
Yeah.
And we've got at least one character for the next Pulp Cthulhu campaign.
Hell yeah.
Hooray!
Hey.
All right. So ends the two-headed serpent, and so ends this campaign. Thank you, everyone who joined us throughout this, and
Jeez.
for anyone in the distant future, in aeons to come, who watched this on YouTube. Hello, and I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you to the four of you for playing
Jeez.
through this. This was our longest one yet, I think. So well
true.
done.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
36, 37
36,
episodes?
36.
That's the
Who
record.
knows?
That's the record.
It is.
Oh,
Thank
someone
you.
did point out that there should be a mini statue in Caduceus, and yes, there will be
What?
a
Well,
wing
no.
of the research department and or something to that
All right,
effect.
Flight, I think we should
Little
name the
portrait,
library
thank
after
you.
her.
Yeah,
Yes.
hell yeah.
Sinclair Library in the basement.
Yes, indeed.
Hell yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That rules.
There is a library and a statue cast entirely in chrome.
Yes.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Sick.
And people comment on it being a weird choice, and nobody
Yeah.
says anything.
And it moves a
that
little
it?
when you're not looking at it.
Yep.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
It's got
All right.
certain purpose technology. Why the fuck not?
Excellent.
Rock and roll. All right, that is where we will park this campaign. We will we will not be on next week.
I'll pitch the things that I said at the start
Yeah,
again.
go for it. Jim,
After you-
take him. Get him.
Yes, so just reminding everybody of stuff to come. First of all, thank you again. Thanks everybody for watching. Stuff coming. Next week, there's going to be a special Pendragon starter set stream that is run by Mark Morrison. You can check out all of the stuff that's involved in the new starter set release. Check out how to play and see some really cool folks get involved and bash some baddies around.
Yeah.
The following week, we will be jumping into the final scenario in Cults of Cthulhu to complete our staggered playthrough of that. And remember, you can check out the Kickstarter sign-up page for Graveyards of Arkham. That is the sequel to Bookshops of Arkham, which released recently. And that's about it. Thanks again. Thanks, Dave, for running a great campaign. And hell yeah.
Thank you.
Rock and roll. All right,
Thank you,
and we'll
Dave.
see you all in a couple weeks. Bye.